Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Robb coming back at you once again, all the way off somewhere. All right. Also, I want to give a shout out to AB Promotions and a shout out to my man AJ for the Cash App donations. I appreciate that. It definitely helps. You guys already know. Reinvest everything back into the platform. I'm going to tell you guys what I plan on doing is I need to get a new computer. I got two computers, right? There's some people that seen my studio, so some people know, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot that goes into it, but I need to get a newer computer because with the edits that I've been doing, it's taken a lot longer because believe it or not, they've updated the software that I use and it requires more, I guess, graphic processing speed, more RAM, random access memory. So I got to upgrade, you know what I'm saying? So I got one computer that's pretty good, which is what I use to get all of my edits done. But then my other computer that I used to use to get the edits done where I could bust out the editing process at twice the speed, now it's decreased by half. So I got to get it back up to where it was before. And hopefully once I get a new computer, I'll be able to have it up to maybe where it's like 3 times the speed. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that'll go down. All right. So I want to give some shout outs to everybody that's in the room already. We got a full house. And oh yeah, I want to ask you guys something. You guys have been doing great at that 20 like before the end of the intro challenge. I think it's time to up the ante to 30. What do you guys think? 30 likes before the end of each intro. I think that's reasonable, man, because you guys been killing it. So let me give a shout out to everybody that's in here. We got Mimi McCoy in the building. Shout out to Mimi. We got Torian in the house. We got Carlton Way. We got Volvo to Love. We got Cameron Jones. We got The Answer. We got Desmond Peoples in the building. We got Carla Lockhart. Both of the Troublemint twins are in the building. You know what I'm saying? Terrence is up in here. RG Titan, my man Jay Bird. Val Williams is in the house. Got my man Kid Gravity up in here. Yo, Kid Gravity, I'm gonna inbox you on Twitter as soon as I get done with this stream. All right, because I had some things changed, some plans changed. I got some time freed up today. All right, we got Old Grandma in the building. We got Chaos Man 81. Shout out to Chaos Man. My man Mike Mellis John is up in here. Shout out to my man Lloyd Sky 9 in the building. We got Jason Farilla, I believe. Hopefully I said that right. Jason Farella. Shout out to Jason Farella. We got Robin and Battle in the building. All right. So shout out to everybody that's in here. All right. So some of these videos, if you guys are subscribed to the Reacts podcast, you've seen some of them, but I'm going to give a full breakdown on a couple of these, right? Because Anton Daniels, man, see, this is the problem. You have people like Anton Daniels, you have people like Obsidian, and these are the kind of cats that do the exact same kind of interference and nonsense that people in the political arena do. You know what I'm saying? When there's something blatantly obvious going on and people have an issue with it and people are calling it out and trying to sort things out, here you have these people that are advocating for nonsense that try to get in the way of things and try to make you feel like there's something wrong with you and make you doubt yourself when you see something as clear as day. I don't know if you guys know about this, but Anton Daniels has now come out with merch that says no code because apparently there's something wrong with quote unquote being on code. Now, he never said anything about no code before, only when there's this issue that's come up with just Pearly Things. And if you ask me, a lot of the people that are advocating for just Pearly Things, they're advocating for her because they want a contract. Now, here's my thing. You're free to do whatever you want. If you want to work for just Pearly Things. And as a matter of fact, I saw a interview with her that she did on Hotep Jesus's stream. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I might actually talk about the part. There's a particular part in there that I want to talk about. If I got a chance to do it, you know what I'm saying? I might talk about it tonight. or today, actually, in this stream, because I think it's important, because I'd be interested to hear what Obsidian has to say about this particular part in general. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is this interference stuff is not cool. It's not cute. People need to sort out their issues. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, this whole entire thing is almost like a lot of these people are fighting to keep people confused. If you ask me, they're in more competition with the mainstream media to win the hearts and minds of the audience instead of actually clearing things up for people. They don't want to see people make good decisions, right? So now, if these individuals, right, like Obsidian, like Anton Daniels, if they want to get a contract with Just Pearly Things Incorporated, do that. Have a good time. Hopefully you get paid. But I don't understand why, to do that, you have to try to confuse other people who already see things as they are. If that's what you want to do, then do that. Get on the payroll. Enjoy the paycheck and the benefits that you may get from joining that company. Everybody else sees a problem with it. So stop trying to get people to drink poison water. Stop trying to get people to think that there's something wrong with having a love and appreciation for themselves. Do you guys understand? Do you guys get that? Why are people doing that? Anton said it. And literally even people that don't advocate. O'Shea Duke Jackson said that Just Pearly Things is outworking people. How? How is Just Pearly Things outworking people? The algorithm is overworking for her. She's not outworking people. She's got what, 3 or 4 channels. She puts up clips. She puts up shorts. She does the same thing that every other YouTuber does. The content isn't amazing, great, or special. The algorithm just happens to like it for the reasons that we know the algorithm likes certain content, and the algorithm does what it does. Show me some evidence that she's outworking people. Now, if you're talking about her staff is outworking people, yeah, because YouTube ad revenue has paid her all that extra amount of money, and she has money to pay a staff, and it looks like all of this stuff is being produced. She's individually outworking people. Is she making all her own thumbnails? Is she doing all her own edits? Did she hook up her own studio? Did she build her studio from the ground up? Maybe back in the day when she had a smaller channel, she did. But ever since the YouTube algorithm started to show her the benefits of YouTube, she's been hiring and outsourcing, which again, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to expand your operation. That's one of the things that I try to do. When I have money, I try to improve the content that I have. When I have extra time, I try to make new edits. I try to make new graphics. I try to make new intros. I try to do all of that stuff. I try to improve the software that I use. Now I have an issue. I need to improve the hardware. I mean, that's just maintenance. It's maintenance to doing business. Literally, most people on YouTube do that. So she's not doing anything better or special. So why the need to put other people down to compare what she's doing to other people? It doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you guys? If it makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make sense, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to my man Mike TV. You know what I'm saying? Also formerly known as Mr. Real Estate. He's come back to YouTube, and Mr. Real Estate was one of the people way in the beginning that was going in on these people, exposing a lot of the nonsense that they were doing. But back then, people weren't ready for it. And I don't know if you guys saw the community post that I made, but I truly believe what I wrote on my community post. Let me ask you guys a question. Doesn't it seem like the YouTube is having its yearly, the Breakfast Club is having its yearly The Breakfast Club pro-black moment, per se? If you guys feel that it is, give me a thumbs up. If you guys feel that it isn't, give me a thumbs down. Literally now everybody has the solutions on how to make things better for everybody. Everybody has the solutions. People who never talked about this kind of stuff before, now they got the solutions for it. They know what to do. They're going to teach us what to do in order to be better, productive black people. Have you guys noticed that? YouTube is extra black nowadays, isn't it? Now, my question is, if people had the solutions this long, why did they not talk about it before? Why did it take this whole issue with just pearly things to start talking about it? Shout out to my man Kale. What's good with it, bro? Yeah, it's all just a misunderstanding. And yeah, my man Mike TV been man, Mr. Real Estate been out here killing it, man. But that's what Mr. Real Estate does, though. Mr. Real Estate is a hitman. He's a social media hitman. You know what I'm saying? He's a hitman. He knows how to run it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? That's my dude, man. Good to see him back. Oh my God. That's too funny. So my thing is that when stuff like this happens, it brings out another grift. And the other grift is the I care grift, because these people don't care. They don't care. Everybody has all this pride. Well, this will never happen again until it does. You know what I'm saying? It'll never happen again until it does. So now my thing is, do you all think that YouTube's new direction for most of these people that talk about stuff on YouTube will be to actually talk about issues and try to come up with solutions and actually improve situations? Or when the algorithm stops paying, they'll just go back to talking about the same stupid shit that they always talk about and copying other people's content? Because don't get it twisted, man. Half these big YouTubers, the ones that have 150,000 subscribers, 250,000 subscribers, all they do is swagger jack. They go around and look for smaller content creators, and then they take the ideas of the smaller content creators and they go live with them to their audience of shills. This is a temporary phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I wouldn't advise anybody really get excited about it. It might last a little bit longer than it usually does because political season is coming up, and you know how it is when it comes to political season. Everybody needs to have something to talk about when they go to work or when they get around other people. So then they'll try to be up on what's going on. But after that, it's going to be right back to where it usually is. You know what I'm saying? Which means that people like us who actually want to see changes, people like us who actually want to make improvements, we got to keep pushing along with what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily get, absorbed by all of this fake cloud of nonsense that most of these people are out here talking about now. Shout out to OG Patrice. Because let's not get it twisted. Most of the people making content about these people, criticizing them, are people that rocked with them before. And also pay very close attention to how certain people who are making their critique, they're not making their critique coming hard at certain individuals who have already shown their ass. And that's because of agendas. You think she's gonna be on Fox talking about black relationships? She probably is. I'm sure that the Tucker Carlson interview is coming. You know what I'm saying? The Tucker Carlson interview is definitely coming. Now, we got to bring it back and talk about Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels used to rock with Anton Daniels. Is that true or is that false? He would be on the Lapeef network all the time with Anton Daniels. There's a lot of commonalities that you see that people aren't talking about, and it's because they don't want to talk about this the way that they should talk about it. If people actually want to improve things, right? If people actually want to improve things, then you talk about things the way they were. We all know that Kevin Samuels gave Just Pearly Things a consultation. We all know that Kevin Samuels was an advocate and a supporter of Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell is one of the major points of contention that caused Just Pearly Things her temporary issues. Because let's not get it twisted, these are temporary issues. She'll be right back to where she was probably in a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Samuels used to do shows with Fresh and Fit. Kevin Samuels used to do shows with Donovan Sharp. Birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Kareem. What's good with it? Birds of a feather flock together. Kevin Samuels was always rocking with Anton Daniels. So now, if Kevin Samuels had that giant audience that he had of people leading him, or of him leading people, because remember, he was a leader, he was an advocate. It should make sense to everybody why everybody is advocating for the people that they're advocating. Oh, don't talk about Anton. Shout out to my man Unsunken One. Shout out to The Answer. Oh, don't talk about Pearly. You be nice to Donovan Sharp. You're just a hater of Fresh and Fit. No, I'm not. I have issues with certain things that these individuals say. And just like how they have their freedom of speech to say it, I have my freedom of speech to critique it. But people get real emotional about this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff in this whole thing that people are leaving out. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how O'Shea's not really talking about Anton, or not talking about Anton, not talking about Obsidian. Because I'm just not going to talk about them because, you know, I'll never go against that individual. Now, I find that interesting because there's other people in the manosphere that when they have an issue with people, they talk about that shit. Shout out to my man Keep It 100. When my man Keep It 100 has a problem with somebody else over there, he talks about it. So I don't know what it is that you call that, but it makes sense why things are just completely out of control, why there's no corrective mechanisms. I mean, it just makes sense. Selective outrage is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Black Bitcoin Key. So now we have Anton Daniels here, who has been spared. Oh, was it Sarah's day? Kid Gravity today, or was it April 7th? I think it might be tomorrow. Shout out to my man DJ Elmo. Peace to the villains. Big facts. Yeah, Donovan Sharp is still in the YouTube streets. He's still talking crazy. He might actually get a video pretty soon. Anton Daniels. I want you guys to pay very close attention to the stuff that he says, because these are the kind of false, facetious arguments that people make. These are the arguments that people make. Kid Gravity, somebody was triggered about that little clip that I took with me and you where we were talking about Sarah Garvey, about his little Twitter anti-FBA rant. They were like, this is a reach. I'm like, yeah, I reached over, turned my computer on, and saw this nonsense on Twitter. That's about as far of a reach as it was. You guys are reaching. Yeah, we didn't reach. So the question that he asks in this video, and I want you guys to let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Who am I supposed to be on code for? Black people that never fuck with me. Now, Kevin Samuels fucked with him. That's a black person that fucked with him, right? Didn't Six to God, she fucked with him, right? Honestly, if you ask me, it's white people that never fucked with him, because the only people that he ever had on his show that were white was that Lebanese woman who was also anti-black, just like just Pearly things. So that shows me about the kind of white women that that Anton Daniels seems to want to have as a part of his business. He's not getting white women who just talk about content. He's not getting white women who, you know, seem to have an issue in things improving for black people. The kind of white women that he gets to be involved with his content are those who are verbally anti-black, unapologetically. So that's just interesting. There's a pattern there. You guys know what I'm talking about? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So who am I supposed to be on code for? Black people that never fucked with me. So I want to start out by asking this. Would you guys agree that black people never fucked with Anton Daniels? The lead attorney fucks with Anton Daniels. If you guys feel that black people don't fuck with Anton Daniels, give me a thumbs down. If you guys feel that black people do fuck with Anton Daniels, give me a thumbs up. And if you guys know some black content creators that have done content with Anton Daniels, drop the names in the chat. Now, I'm going to ask another question. How many non-black content creators have messed with Anton Daniels or the Lapeef Network, and how much money is he making with them? So my question is, why would you say that black people don't fuck with you? You got an issue with one or two black people, and all of a sudden black people don't fuck with you? Is that honest? Let's just keep it a buck. Black people fuck with Tommy Sotomayor. And Tommy Sotomayor has said way more critical and toxic stuff than Anton Daniels. So you mean to tell me that you feel that black people don't mess with you, bro? That's a flat out lie. And see, like, this is the problem right here. When people like Anton Daniels will shit on not only the entire black community, but even shit on the people who rock with him. What do you think the people who rock with him feel about what he said? You know what I'm saying? What do you he's got a ton of black people on his Patreon. He's got a ton of black subscribers. Dude's got over 100,000 subscribers on one of his channels. How do you think the black people that actually do rock with him feel? You think they feel good that he said that? You think that they feel represented? Or you think they feel a little bit upset? Yeah, Charleston White. Yeah, I agree, Lloyd. So he's not telling the truth, and not telling the truth, if you ask me, at this level and at the level of confusion that most people are at, is dangerous. This is dangerous. And I've seen his chats, Black Bitcoin Key, and I gotta agree, they seem to be like him. They do. They seem to like him. They do. I agree. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell icon, make sure that you guys hit the bell icon twice. And please share the video to your social media. All right. So now here's my question, right? And shout out to TNBN. Anton says he was not pro-black. Okay, so here's my thing, right? When it comes to all this stuff, there's all these strict requirements, right? Because somebody could, Umar Johnson or somebody could look at me and be like, I'm not pro-black. Umar, you know what I'm saying? I could look at somebody and be like, that person's kind of a coon. You know what I'm saying? So what is the standard of quote unquote pro-black? And here's my question, right? Why is it that even with a lot of black people, it's cool to be pro-white, and it's even cooler to put down who you are? Why is that? See, like, that's the thing that we got to ask ourselves. And shout out to Tammy Dorsey. What's good with it? Right? I'm not the one sitting up here giving people instructions on black people, how to be a black person, what to do. Shout out to my man Dario. What's good with it? I'm not doing that. It's a lot of these other people. What I'm asking is, why is it that self-hate is promoted and looked at as quote unquote cool? It's almost like, to get in the club, I have to say that I'm not pro-black. But if you're a white nationalist or a white supremacist, you're celebrated. Black people celebrate Nick Fuentes. Black people celebrate Donald Trump. Oh, I mean, he's a white supremacist. So, I mean, I expect this. I expect that. That's interesting, right? But it's just never expected for people to embrace villainy. Shout out to Torian Rain, like Angel Reese did. I wouldn't even consider Angel Reese a pro-black because I don't know about her. I don't know about her politics. I don't know any of her views. But what I do know is that she embraced villainy when it would have been just as easy to bend the knee, and she didn't. She bent the backboard and bent the rim and then won, and then doubled down on winning, and then told the president and the first lady, go jump in the lake. So shout out to Angel Reese for doing that. And the thing is people have criticized her and said, oh, well, you know, she wants to see the Obamas. I don't think that she really cares about seeing the Obamas. I think that she's smart enough to understand exactly what the color dynamics are, and that's why she said she'll go check out the Obamas, since Biden and them and the White House has become the place where losers get invited. Losers of the NCAA tournament get invited to the White House. So I'm gonna go somewhere where winners choose to go. And since y'all want to make this a race issue, I'm gonna deal with the blackest thing that I can find. So I'm not mad at Angel Reese for that. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, and you see now all of the criticisms and all of the critiques that Angel Reese is going through, right? But it doesn't matter, because she won and she embraced villainy. It's not her fault that she won. I mean, actually, it is her fault, because she is better than Iowa. I agree 110%, Desmond. Black male athletes, black male celebrities, black males on YouTube need to take notes from her. I agree 110%. You know what I mean? If you guys agree with Desmond, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. She stood on something. And it wasn't just the backs of that weak Iowa team. It wasn't just the backs of that weak Iowa team. Oh yeah, Kyrie. Yeah, shout out to Kyrie, because Kyrie, you know, he held his own. Shout out to my man PD Chicago B1. What's good with it, bro? So this is why I'm asking this question. This is why we doing the commentary on these kind of issues, because I want to ask the questions. Like, look at what Abba and Preach did, right? And y'all know that I rock with Abba and Preach. I like their content, but when they do some weird shit, when they do some coon shit, I call it out, and they do it a lot. You know what I'm saying? They just recently did a live stream where they said, quote unquote, black people support Charleston White's grape comments. All right. And if you guys are subscribed to React's podcast, you guys know we did a commentary about that. Now, I disagree. I don't think that most black people support Charleston White's grape comments. I don't think there's anybody out there going, yeah, Charleston White should just go ahead and just go take that shit. Just go on and take it. Nobody's saying that. So now why would you make a video saying that black people support that? Why would you do that? They're doing that to appeal to their white audience. Because if you scroll down YouTube and you're subscribed to Tim Pool and you're subscribed to Abba and Preach also, some of the videos that come up will say people that watch Tim Pool also watch this channel. So they got to preserve their audience. And they know that the best way to preserve a white audience is to do what? What's the best way to preserve a white audience? The best way to preserve a white audience, or the best way to get a white audience, is to trash black people. That's the best way to do it. And that's what they do. A lot of people are just too scared. They're too scared to stand on their square and actually do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? And just get their audience on their own. Yeah, I agree, Nathaniel. There's a lot of people who spoke out about that kind of stuff. And my question is, what kind of survey did they do? Where's the evidence? You see, when it comes to bashing black people, no evidence required. You ever notice that? When it comes to saying something positive about black people, all kinds of ridiculous evidentiary standards are there. When it comes to bashing black people, no evidence required. All the people that bashed Angel Reese, they didn't even have any context of why they were bashing her, other than the fact that it was because she's black. She's an idiot. How's she an idiot? I mean, she got the academic, requirements to be on the basketball team. She's smart enough to be able to beat Iowa. How's she an idiot? Well, she just is. And that's all you need when it comes to talking shit about black people. And one of the reasons why it's so easy to do that is because of people like Anton Daniels. And shout out to Desmond for answering the Nightbot. People like Abba and Preach. You know what I'm saying? They make it easy. That's one of the reasons why, if you ask me, the first line of defense, the first thing that people got to do is clear the house. Clear the house. I'm not the person that's about to sit there and try to, judge somebody based on my perception of how pro-black somebody is. I'm looking at your integrity, because your integrity to me is the only determinant of how pro-black you are. Also, how you are and how you maintain your stances when you're around other people. A lot of times people get around other people and use those opportunities of being around other people to talk down or to bash. Even a lot of alleged pro-black people get around WS, get around other people and start just talking crazy, unpackaging all of the mysterious issues that we may have. And I just find it interesting. I'm like, damn, just a minute ago, I'm sitting here watching you. You're sitting here telling people how to be black people and this, that, and the other. And now that you up here with this white supremacist, you saying more crazy shit about us than they are. And they just sitting back watching. That's not me. I'm looking at how you carry yourself by yourself and how you carry yourself when you're around other people. And one of the reasons why a lot of these people tend to go in on other people is so that people don't put the focus on how they carry themselves when they're around other people. You know what I'm saying? Or also how they want to build their audience, what they want to build. I will never turn my back on my audience under any circumstance, because without my audience, I don't have a YouTube channel. Without my audience, there's no reason for me to go and turn on my computer. Without my audience, I don't have anybody that's interested in talking about or having discussions about the topics that I think are interesting and important. The audience is who makes you. And my audience mirrors the people that are in my daily life. You know what I'm saying? And that means something to me. And see, like, I don't think that means something to a lot of these people. These kind of topics that we talk about on my channel, this is the same kind of topics I talk about with my coworkers. And my stances are always the same. And the only thing that I ask for or look for is consistency and honesty. A lot of these dudes do not come consistent or honest. And you can see it. All you gotta do is just watch these people over a long period of time. Corey said that white girl on Iowa looks like Loki. She do look like Loki. That's funny as hell. So let me ask you guys this. Since this Just Pearly Things incident took place, all of the people that have critiques about her, have they helped anybody else significantly build a larger YouTube channel? Since one of the major issues is that she has 1 million subscribers. Have anybody combined to create a network to have more than 1 million subscribers, or, you know, anybody come up with a podcast, or anybody pool any money together to invest in a studio where people can do podcasting and recording and stuff like that? Has that happened? Or is everybody just busy making videos about it, collecting that ad revenue on the 21st? He's trying to get that ad revenue on the 21st. And like I said, I ain't mad at it. But if this is about changing things, or if this is about improving a situation, there's supposed to be interventions, right? Like if you have an inspection at your job and your job fails the inspection, one of the first things that you have to do, shout out to my man, Keep It 100. Speaking of the devil, I just shouted you out, bro. When it comes to your job, if your job fails the inspection, they have to put in place a plan to improve, right? And then it has to be reevaluated, more than likely quarterly. So my question is, what's the intervention for this? What's the reevaluation schedule? Shout out to The Answer for answering the Nightbot. Right? It hasn't been put into place. And to me, that tells me that a lot of the outrage, like I said in the beginning, is fake and disingenuous. If the people that are shouting down everybody and yelling at everybody were as upset as they actually were, they would have been making content about this whole situation way back when me and Mr. Real Estate and even Keep It 100 did a video about this. You know what I'm saying? But the algorithm wasn't paying, so it wasn't important. But now that the algorithm is paying, it's jumped up to the top of the priority list. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Corey Green. What's good with it, bro? That right there is what we got to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? See, the content creators that I support, I want to see them grow. I want to see them be able to have large voices that should be influential. Tory and Rain. You know what I'm saying? Keep It 100. TD Hip Hop Media. Moxie Approved. I want to see those dudes grow. So whatever I can do to help, I try to help. Because I believe in supporting people that you want to see grow. Why would you put support into people that you don't want to see grow? I don't understand that. And I don't blame you, Keep It 100. And see, and this is one of the reasons why when I talk about this topic, I always make a clear distinction. And I say people who are part of the manosphere who rock with that are very different than the people that don't, because there's a lot of brothers that don't, and they're very vocal about it. And Keep It 100 is one of those people that's always vocal about things that he has a disagreement with, regardless of whatever happens. And again, that's one of the reasons why I rock with him, because Keep It 100 has integrity. And like I told, and same with Black Men Being Brutally Honest, Kev. And Kev had posted a community post. You know what I'm saying? And I wrote on Kev's community post, the sad thing about what y'all got going on is that the people who should be a representative of what you are, people like you and people like Keep It 100, are not the people with the biggest microphones. It's the same thing in politics. It's the same thing in sports. The people who are the good representatives are not the ones that had the microphones. That's one of the reasons why the people that are the good representatives, we got to make sure that they got the microphone. We got to make sure that they got the microphone. That's important. That is imperative. And I don't think that that's really been done. We have people out here who have the biggest microphone who are a clown show. And so when that's all that you see, that's what people perceive, even though there's a lot of different layers to it. Shout out to Vega. What's good with it, Vega? So we got to make sure that we do that. We got to make sure that we support the real. You know what I'm saying? And it's not difficult to see what the real is or who the real are. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times with stuff like that, they support what it seems like everybody wants to hear. My man Keep It 100 said people don't support real shit. They support what makes them feel good. Facts. I agree 110%. And see, the thing about feeling good is it's just like anything that makes you feel good. Ice cream tastes good, right? Candy tastes good. Peach cobbler tastes good, right? You can sit there and eat it all day. Banana pudding, sweet potato pie. You can sit there and eat it all day and it's going to taste good. But if all you eat is that, eventually it's going to cause you problems. You eat too much sweet potato pie, you're going to be on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be on the toilet. You eat too much candy. See, I like Swedish fish. But if you eat too many Swedish fish, you're going to be missing some teeth. You're going to look like you was chewing on bricks. You know what I'm saying? People going to ask you who you was hanging around with because you're going to have meth mouth from eating candy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Chili C. What's good with it? So we're going to listen to Anton, all right? If you guys haven't smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon twice, and please make sure that you guys share the video to your social media. You know what? Let me do this real quick because maybe on that bullshit. Hold on, playback speed. I'm gonna do this too. I don't know why I'd be going down to old school cell phone graphics. All right, here we go.
What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys continuing to rock with me. I am headed into the office early in the morning. Now, here's supposed to be 60 degrees today, 60 plus degrees today here in Detroit. That's gonna be awesome. Got a bunch of stuff lined up for the month of April specifically. Dropped a video inside of the Patreon over the weekend. Also updating the Patreon this morning before the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure you tune into that. It's gonna be a great show. About our location for the Patreon meetup.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys show some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat from my man AB Promotions with the $4.99 super chat. My man said, I support real shit, Rob. I really appreciate the hard work. I know it's not easy. Yo, I appreciate it, bro. And like I said, shout out to my subscribers, man. Drop some radiation emoji in the chat, not just for yourself, but for AB Promotion too, because I have one of the most supportive audiences, the best engaging audience on YouTube. And I can't ask for no more than that. You know what I'm saying? There's literally nothing else that I can ask you guys for, because everything that you guys do, you do on your own and you do a great job of it. And there's nothing I can say. You guys are the reason why I come back and stream or make videos all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys give me hope. Seriously. You know what I'm saying?
That's coming within about a month. Life is absolutely awesome and great. So let's get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. I got some phone calls over the weekend from different people telling me to stay on code. What does that mean, stay on code? Stay on code with who? I don't understand that whole stay on code thing.
So now you see Anton Daniels says stay on code with who? I don't understand that whole code thing. So let's ask this question. When you guys hear that stay on code, what would that mean as it applies to Anton Daniels? If somebody gave him a call and said, stay on code, stay on code. First of all, stay on code would assume that he's already been on code, right? Second of all, what does it mean in his particular situation? Basically, to me, right, if you ask me what that means for Anton Daniels is now you're dealing with somebody that is clearly anti-black, right? Like, I don't care what keep it I see what keep it pearly, the Lord have mercy, what just pearly things says, right? If she said it about another group of people, it would be considered anti-Semitism, right? If she denied traumatic history of another group of people, it would be considered anti-Semitism, right? So we're not going to sit here and act like what she said wasn't anti-black, because if denying event H is the standard of what causes somebody to be deemed an anti-Semite, then by that same logic, somebody should be able to be deemed anti-black if you're denying parts of our history or parts of our culture. Would you guys agree with that? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to my man Bad Seeds. What's good with it? So when somebody says stay on code, nobody's asking you to grow a fro. Nobody's asking you to become a Black Panther. Nobody's asking you to pick up arms and protest outside of a government building. Nobody's asking you to do that. They're simply asking you to stand up to anti-Black racism, period. Something very easy. Nobody's sitting there asking you to wear dashiki. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's sitting there telling you to brag about all of the books that you've read, you know, Dirty Little Secrets 1, Dirty Little Secrets 2. Nobody's asking you to do that. Very simple. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for anti-Black racism. Stand up against it, I should say. Don't give somebody a pass. Stand on something. Show that you care about yourself. Don't back down on it. Don't make excuses for her behavior. Don't do for her what you wouldn't do for yourself or for other people like you. As far as I'm concerned, that's easy. That's an easy enough definition. There's not, you know, there's not really many qualifications for that. That's it. I'm not trying to tell you to relocate to Ghana. That's it. Just be honest. So for one, he should have automatically known that, if you ask me. Also, for two, if somebody is calling him and telling him to stay on code, to me, that probably implies that he doesn't have a history of consistently being on code, so he had to be reminded. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Stay on code is just a wild concept to me. Because what does being on code mean? I've seen some of the people that's the closest to me betray me. Several different people betrayed me this weekend.
So now, what's he talking about? People betrayed him. Who betrayed him? Now, let's ask this question. Did people betray him, or were those people simply calling him out on being suspect or having some questionable views? Which is literally the only thing that's happened to Pearl. Literally nothing has happened to Pearl other than people have called her out for some questionable views that she had. That's it. Nothing else has happened. Let me ask you guys this. What consequence has Pearl faced other than people making videos about her? Cameron said his girlfriend left him for a taller dude. That's hilarious. Yeah, I gotta agree. Black Bitcoin Key. Yeah, there's just Pearly Things hasn't faced any consequence. If anything, she's on an interview tour, getting more exposure on many different platforms. The only thing that she's had to deal with is she's just had to either stand on her comments or apologize for her comments, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that her heart desires, how she feels that she needs to respond to the criticism. She's not getting canceled. Her channel's not gone. There's no significant decrease in income. She hasn't been deplatformed. You know what I mean? So, and again, honestly, I don't think anybody even cares whether she apologizes or not. At this point, it's just a behavior observation, and we're saying she said this. She works with primarily these people, right? And nobody really called her out about this. Now, here's another thing that I find interesting, right? Why is it that nobody is bringing attention to the fact that the people that work with Just Pearly Things are also being criticized? She's not the only one, you know what I'm saying, dealing with criticism. King Riches is getting dealt with criticism. What's that lady's name? Auntie what is her name? She's getting criticized. Melanie King is getting criticized. All of them are black people. So now I find it fascinating that people like Obsidian, you know what I'm saying, people like Anton Daniels are going around saying that, oh, you know, it's just because she's white. Okay, what about King Riches? See, King Riches is black, and King Riches has a white girlfriend, and literally nobody's saying anything about any of that. We're saying, as a matter of fact, why didn't you defend your girlfriend? And we're saying, bro, you need to get away from those contracts. Why do you keep defending this woman? But nobody's saying anything about that. As bad as they want to try to make, quote unquote, the community look, the community still got morals. Because the community is not sitting there acting like Just Pearly Things is the only one that needs to be critiqued. We're also critiquing ourselves right now. Why did people support her like that? Why did people grow her to the size that she is? But it's you know, it is what it is. It's just okay. You know, we'll just ignore the fact that not only is Just Pearly Things getting criticized, her staff is getting criticized too. We'll ignore the staff getting criticized and we'll just focus on the Just Pearly Things shit. Make it make sense. Does it make sense? You know what I'm saying? But they got it though. These are the smartest Negroes in the room. They have all the answers. You know what I'm saying?
It's wild. Was they on code? I see people getting divorced and then throwing their former spouse under the bus every single day. Are they on code? I see people that were supposed to have your back and then go and mention your name and talk negatively about you.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. Keep It 100 says, how about this? And I'm going to post this. They gave Kanye more smoke about his comments about slavery than they giving the white girl. Sure are. Now, how does that work? How does that work? That's facts. That is facts. And see, that's that shit right there. You know what I'm saying?
On other platforms, are they on code? Y'all make up terms and definitions according to whatever suits whatever it is that you got going on at the time.
The word, the phrase, the terminology on code has been around for a long time, right? And nobody's making up anything. Nobody's making up anything. Anytime there's a situation where a black person is faced with anti-black racism, or the mic is in their face to criticize people being anti-black racist, people always say, well, I hope this person stays on code. I hope this person stays on code. Very simple. Very simple. All it means is to be honest. And you're not being honest right now. Would you guys agree? Anton Daniels is being extremely disingenuous right now. If you guys feel that he's being extremely disingenuous, give me a thumbs up. If you guys feel that he's not being disingenuous and that everything that he's saying is accurate and correct, then drop a flame in the chat. He's making ridiculous arguments that have not even been brought up. And again, I don't think that there's anybody that has called for Pearl's cancellation. This is something else that these people keep repeating. Nobody, the woke mob or whatever they call black people, the cancel mob, nobody's come after her with tiki torches. As a matter of fact, there's only one group of people that have ever came at anybody with tiki torches, and Pearl had one of them on the show, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there, right? You know what I'm saying? The only Tiki Torch mob member was the one that Pearl had sitting on the couch, but that's neither here nor there. Nobody's saying anything about that. But what Anton Daniels just said here is disingenuous. And what I find fascinating is that let's just keep it a buck. Shout out to my man Chili C. All right, Dario, I'll catch you later, bro. And let's just keep it a buck here. This is how he's jumping in front to critique or to save her from a critique, from a criticism. You know what I mean? That's clearly not being on code. Yeah, I facts. My man Keep It 100 said, I made it clear on BGS panel, nobody asked to cancel Pearl. No, I haven't heard one person say cancel her. She took her own video off. And she took it off because of the backlash that she got, but she's gonna put the video back on. Now, I got a question for you guys. You know what, actually, I think, would you guys like me to do a stream where we react to the entire Hotep Jesus interview? Shout out to my man Harrison Family Values. What's good with it, bro? If y'all ain't subscribed to Harrison, make sure y'all go check his channel out. That's a good brother right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a good brother. If y'all want me to react to the whole Hotep Jesus interview tonight, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. I'll do it tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some interesting things that she says there. Just, the answer says, I want all the streams. All right, bet. Bet. We're going to give them to you. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Harrison, drop your link in the chat, bro, so that people can come check you out. My man Harrison says, I trust everyone's already smashed that thumbs up. You already know. Harrison Family Values does some really good and creative streams. You know what I'm saying? Very smart brother. You know what I'm saying? With a great perspective on things. You know what I'm saying? Please go check his channel out. His channel should have way more subscribers than it does. But if you pay attention, though, the people that seem to always be on the right side of things never really seem to have big channels for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing that out there.
Are they on code? I see people that were supposed to have your back and then go and mention your name and talk negatively about you on other platforms. Are they on code? Y'all make up terms and definitions according to whatever suits whatever it is that you got going on at the time. You know where my code lies? The same place that it's always been. Rocking with people that roll with me, so I know you in real life, and I have your phone number, and I've actually linked up with you as far as had you in my city.
So like this, I want you guys to pay attention to this, man. He's just moving away from the issue. Another good brother, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you guys go and follow my man TD Hip Hop Media. 100 live viewers, I see. Don't say nothing, Rob. Just leave it alone. Yo, it's 100 live viewers, and I got subscribers only on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that one time, the first time I had 100 viewers, I was like, yo, something ain't right here. Oh yeah. It's where everybody can comment. Man, let me fix this. And we turned on subscriber mode only. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We gotta have the real people up in here, not them cloud watchers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Black to Black. What's good with it? Yeah, so we're gonna definitely look at that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dre D was like self-sabotage. Shout out to Janesta Coleman for the $2 super chat. Make sure you guys show some love, throw some radiation emoji in the chat for Janesta. We want all the smoke. Y'all want all the smoke. That's what's up. We're gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a completely different conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've met my daughter, and you know, you've been to my home. I can't ever mention your name or throw somebody on your name in a negative way. I don't care.
So what I want you guys to do is what Anton Daniels is doing is he's taking the ethics and integrity and not even introducing that into what being on code is, and he's coming up with his own definition. Well, if I don't know you in real life, okay, so let me get this straight. You don't know Ahmaud Arbery in real life, but being that the incident took place in the South, the people that killed him were former law enforcement, and they were linked to formerly working for the DA, who tried to pass them off as not getting arrested and not doing anything. You and your understanding of life here in the United States and what it means to be black, you don't understand what side of that particular situation you should be on. You naturally don't get it. If you don't get that, then what you need to do is first understand the definition of what a code is or being on code, and then reassess how you deal with your daily life. Because honestly, like, let's just keep it a buck. If you can't be on code with issues that are blatantly obvious, then you have to question somebody's loyalty in any situation. How loyal are you going to be at all for anything? Because that's all being on code is basically loyalty and integrity when it comes to dealing with particular situations that affect the collective group that you belong to. That's really it. Like I said, it's very simple. Now, people's things that they deal with in their life, on an individual basis in their life, those are individual basis. But having a collective integrity, honesty, right? Like just not jumping on the side of Ron DeSantis when he attacks Black history because that's what your subscribers want to see. That's being off code. You're a clown. Well, I mean, you can learn it at home. I mean, nobody else has to learn their history at home. You know what I mean? Like, this is the being on code. Another thing, sadly, is looking at how other people interact and behave during times that are similar to what we're dealing with. Time that we're dealing with. When the J community canceled Kyrie and canceled Kanye, you didn't see a bunch of J's making videos, well, the ADL is wrong. They shut up. So Just Pearly Things isn't even getting canceled because we don't own YouTube. We didn't write the community guidelines. None of that, right? All we're doing is saying she said this. These kind of people engage with her. We're going to do commentary about what she said and leave it up to the Court of Appeals. That's literally the only thing that happened. She's faced no consequences. For one, because we don't have the power to issue any. And for two, YouTube hasn't given her any. And our advocacy has not been to advocate for YouTube to give her consequences. But now this is what Anton Daniels got to do. He got to hop in front and catch the bullet. It's crazy.
What you do to me. Now that's what my code is. And maybe it's just the city that I'm from. I got a different kind of code. You know what I'm saying? My code is a little bit different. Let me also give you another code. My code.
Not only is your code a little bit different, you a little bit different too, bro. You know what I'm saying? You a little bit different too.
My loyalty also lies with my wife.
So now what he did right there is that he just told you that he knows exactly what the code means, because now he's brought in loyalty into the conversation. What is the code? I don't know what the code is. Well, let me tell you about my loyalty. You know what I mean?
Code and my loyalty also lies with my wife. I've seen people say negative things and throw smut on my wife's name. And she ain't never did nothing to nobody. You know what they look like? They was from the Black community.
Bro.
You know what people told me? Oh man, ignore it. It's for a bigger.
Bro, and I said the same thing. All of this because of a girl. That's the real question. Where's the J community for Pearl having Fuentes on? Well, Fuentes didn't mention Event H. Fuentes was talking about, well, actually, he just said, about slavery. So what that should also tell you is the greater code, and the greater code for everybody else is anti-Black racism. No, his wife is Black. His wife is Black. Just like just like a lot of the people supporting Just Pearly Things, interestingly enough.
Purpose.
Which is something that I haven't really heard Umar Johnson talk too much about. As a matter of fact, has Umar Johnson even done any kind of commentary about Just Pearly Things? Because if we're going to actually talk about Just Pearly Things, I mean, we now actually have an issue of a quote unquote snow bunny crisis. I would say that Just Pearly Things is an actual snow bunny crisis, but the doctor who prescribed and diagnoses the snow bunny crisis hasn't really discussed or analyzed the quote unquote current snow bunny crisis, which I find ironic but not to be unexpected, and I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised, because again, as far as I'm concerned, it's an issue of personal integrity, and Anton Daniels has no personal integrity, none whatsoever. He'll do anything for the dollar, anything that he thinks would be in a situation that would put him on top. Derek Jackson's wife is black too. You know what I'm saying? These are dudes that just don't have any personal integrity. And again, being on code, as far as I'm concerned, being on code is how you interact in the presence of people who are not the same as you, to maintain the integrity and image for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So what I find interesting is that when it comes to Anton Daniels, the type of image and the type of audience that he wants to get, he doesn't have that kind of audience. He's got a majority black audience. He is always around black people. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing that. And he's acting that way because he wants to expand and shift beyond that, which I think is sad. If you got good content, if you're on point, people gonna rock with you regardless. But you're not on point and you don't have good content, so people aren't rocking with you. So you think that the easy answer is to just be anti-black. That's not gonna work. Oh, that's what's up. Shout out to Tori and Rain. I hope you're enjoying the live.
I said, so wait a minute, you telling me that the black community, you know, the ones that killed Malcolm X?
See, there we go.
You know, those people. You know, the ones that...
Now, really, is that what the letter from the New York Police Department said? That it was just the black community involved in killing Malcolm X and COINTELPRO had nothing to do with it? I want you guys to pay attention to this. Now, here go my thing, right? This right here, if you ask me, this is no different than what Just Pearly Things did. We're going to lie about slavery. We're going to lie about Malcolm X. So now when we're dealing with anti-black people, when dealing with anti-black people, I'm going to deal with anti-black people the same way anti-black racists deal with me. I don't see color. You see, him and Pro are the same person to me. I don't see color right now. I see anti-black racists. See how that works? You see how that works? Now you're gonna make a video with all them subscribers that you got and sit up here and shit on Malcolm X. Now let me ask you guys a question. Do you think Malcolm X family appreciates that? They're still dealing with trauma from that. Yep, I agree. Keep it 100. Facts. Facts. If you guys agree with keep it 100, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. That's facts. Al McCowan said he won a marathon today. That's what Tori and Rain said. That's what Tori. Now check this out. If we do the live stream tonight, and we react to the Hotep Jesus and Just Pearly Things interview, and we do a marathon stream on that, I'm gonna have to change the time of news, reviews, and reactions in the morning. Y'all like I'm Superman out here or something. I ain't no Superman. I ain't no Superman. I'm Peter Parker without no radioactive spider out here. You know what I'm saying?
So wait a minute, you telling me the black community, you know, the ones that killed Malcolm X, you know, those people, you know, the ones that was talking negatively and throwing smut on Martin Luther King's name before he died? Yeah, most black people didn't like Martin Luther King before he died. Now you got.
How do you know? I mean, do you guys hear this crap? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button, hit that bell icon twice, and share the video to your social media. You guys hear this nonsense? Shout out to my man DSB. What's good with it, bro? This is crazy. AB Promotion said Hotep Jesus. Yeah, man, Hotep Jesus. Y'all gonna have we're gonna have a good time with that.
Got a holiday in his name. You know, those type of people. You know, the same black people that voted for Obama, even though he didn't champion none of y'all causes, and y'all still hold him down.
Who still holds down Obama? So I mean, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is how you know somebody that's and right here, what he's displaying. This is why somebody allegedly called him and said, "Stay on code." Keep it 100 says, so basically he has to throw us under the bus to rationalize his position. Yep. And you see that, you see a lot of people do that, bro. You see a lot of people do that. Right, Corey. Wait, so the entire black race is responsible for Malcolm's death? Apparently in the mind of the Millionaire Morning Show. You know what I'm saying? That's why you need to bring them uploads back, bro. You need to bring them uploads back because we need people like you who have a creative way of getting your message across. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely a red flag. Now, again, pay attention to all the people that used to rock with this dude. You don't think that he ever had conversations in private about this kind of stuff? I gotta agree, Harrison. It's the inconsistencies that really grind my gears. Big facts. Big facts. Big facts.
The ones that killed Malcolm X, you know, those people. You know, the ones that was talking negatively and throwing smut on Martin Luther King's name before he died? Yeah, most black people didn't like Martin Luther King before he died. Now he got a holiday in his name. You know, those type of people.
I don't think we've made the holiday. I'm pretty sure the United States government made the holiday. And I want to see the proof that most black people didn't like Martin Luther King before he died. I think that most of the critique of Martin Luther King has come recently, but still, I don't, even with the critiques, because I'm critical of Martin Luther King, I've criticized him, but we can't sit here and say that Martin Luther King didn't help improve our situation here or cause. Can we? We can't say that, can we? Martin Luther King definitely helped to improve the situation that we have here in the United States. And I don't think that there's anybody that's been trained preemptively on how to deal with this hellish nonsense that we have to deal with here. So everybody is always on training wheels. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is what he's doing. And the thing is that he's not saying this stuff out of nowhere. Exactly. The same U.S. government that had MLK killed. Yeah, that U.S. government. Facts. And now, but notice how he didn't mention who killed King. He only mentioned who killed Malcolm X. And he still, when mentioning who killed Malcolm X, he didn't even put in the information that has recently come out that the feds in the New York City Police Department has released. This is why some of these content creators are dangerous, man. They're dangerous.
You know, the same black people that voted for Obama, even though he didn't champion none of y'all causes, and y'all still hold him down? Yeah, those type of black people. So I'm supposed to hold down these same people. You know, the ones that be in your comments
The ones that be in your comments that got you to all those subscribers that you got, those ones. 1 or 2 people triggered you like this. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Make no mistake about this, y'all. If you've ever heard anybody say stuff like this before, just pearly things didn't cause him to act like this. Understand that. He has always felt this way. And the just pearly thing stuff gave him a reason and an amplified platform to be able to say how he's really felt. He's felt like this for a long time. This is how he's always been. I don't know if you guys paid attention, but a lot of times he used to stress that his platform was not a quote unquote black platform, despite the fact that most of the people who watch and comment in his videos are black. He's always been this. This has always been him. Always. Don't get it twisted. This isn't some, just Pearly was my best friend and I feel people going, nah, it was none of that. Before just Pearly things was even around, this how this dude was. So again, that just brought this out of him. You know what I'm saying? That just brought this out of him. He's always been like this. So now we got to ask the question, knowing now that he's always been like this and this just brought this out of him, why did people ignore him for so long? Why did people never really go in on him before? Why was he given a pass? You know what I mean? See, that's the question that we got to ask. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not, hit that bell icon. Make sure that you guys hit that bell icon twice and share the video to your social media.
On all of this extra shit, but they was never subscribed in the first place. I know, my people did the analytics. See, what people don't understand is that on YouTube, you can go through, if you have a creator's account, you can go through and see in the comments exactly who subscribed to you when they write their comments. Every single person that wrote a negative comment in any of your comments, none of them was subscribed. So if you wasn't rocking with me in the first place.
So then what are you outraged about? So that's probably why they weren't subscribed to your channel, not because of anything with being off code or anything like that, because they just didn't like you and didn't like your content. Your video might have popped up on their home window, you know what I'm saying? And they clicked on it and said, yeah, this dude talking a bunch of nonsense. I'm gonna just leave my comment and keep it moving. So that right there triggered you to go on a I'm not on code rant. You know what I'm saying? I don't rock with black Americans rant. Really? Now, these are the main people that talk about how people are emotional and must have came from a single parent household. Do you guys know how many negative comments I get on my videos? People that don't agree with me. And it is what it is. Do you know how many people in my comment section that I actually rock with, that are appreciated subscribers and channel members, don't agree with me about certain things? A lot. I'm not gonna go on no anti-black rant because of it though. I'm not sure if he's ADOS, unsunken one. I'm not sure. A lot of people have been asking that question, where your people's from? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of times people don't agree with certain things. It is what it is. How you handle that is actually what makes you a man. And if you ask me, the way that you're handling this right here shows that none of your masculinity training is worth a dime. Everybody should ask for a refund. You know what I'm saying? Now, because the people are unsubbed, people that are not subbed to you, criticize the things that you're saying. You had to come and make a video about being on code. What does that have to do with anything? People hurt your feelings that bad, so now you got to jump, you know what I'm saying, on the side of on the side of a proven anti-black racist. Like, seriously? You know what I'm saying? Make that make sense. If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make any sense, give me a thumbs down.
Are you telling me that I'm supposed to throw my wife under the bus or forego what my daughter and my wife mean to me in order to make sure that I'm on call with people that kill me and stab me in the back?
Literally, nobody asked you to do that, and you sound insane. Nobody asked you to throw your wife or your daughter away. Literally, no one asked you that. Let me ask you guys a question. Can anybody drop the link of the video where Anton Daniels was asked to throw his wife and daughter away? Does anybody have access to that information? If anybody got it, you know what I'm saying, don't be shy. Throw it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Throw it in the chat. And real quick, you guys, if you guys haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. While the algorithm is being nice to my channel, I'm trying to work it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to work it, because y'all know it don't be like this all the time. But for real though, who did that? Who told this man to throw his family away? Like, stop it, bruh. And the thing that's crazy, this is the dangerous thing about this, right? Non-black, anti-black people love hearing black people say stuff like this. And without any kind of proof, because remember, to be anti-black, there's no evidentiary requirement. All they got to do is just say, yeah, you're right. It's crazy. This is why people don't like those people, because this is what they do. That's literally what they'll do. Literally what they'll do. Nobody asked this dude to do any of this stuff. Let's just keep it a buck. All right, PD, take it easy, bro. These are the people that YouTube are giving all these subscribers to. And then what you have to ask yourself when something crazy happens and people are all confused and scrambled and it doesn't look like anybody understands what to do or what's going on. That's why, because YouTube decided to give somebody who's going to confuse you with a bunch of babble and nonsense hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They reserve giving millions of subscribers to people like Pearly Things. He got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's going on out here.
No person that wrote a negative comment in any of your comments, none of them was subscribed. So if you wasn't rocking with me in the first place, are you?
So if they're not subscribed, why does it matter? See, like, let's ask that question. If it's not the people that you're making your content specifically for who are going in on you, why do you care? Why do you care this much that you were inspired to make a video against black people when you're really outraged about comments that people made about your video? Does that make any sense? If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make any sense, give me a thumbs down.
You telling me that I'm supposed to throw my wife under the bus or forego what my daughter and my wife mean to me in order to make sure that I'm on call with people that kill me and stab me in the back? Y'all smoking crack. I don't know where y'all from. I don't know where y'all came.
Anybody could kill you or stab you in the back. Like that's I don't understand. See, this is how you know too. Pay attention to these people that have large platforms. Pay attention to these people that get a microphone put in their face when they're on the news or something like that. These people always attempt to pathologize something negative with black people. Bruh, anybody could do that kind of stuff. I don't know if you know about surviving the suburbs, but there's a lot of people that don't. Like the Murdaugh family. You know, the Murdaugh family that got murdered. Them. And I gotta agree again with Keep It 100. The non-subs are the minority. The majority of his supporters are black subscribers. Facts. And he's going on this rant, going in on all black people, including his black subscribers, including his black Patreons. These are feelings that he's had for a long time. This isn't something new. No, he's married to a black woman. Shout out to my man JB Easy. No, he's married to a black woman. He has some videos with his wife. Nope.
From where I'm from, you hold down the people that hold you down. That's where I'm from. You don't go with mob mentality and that. See, I don't think the minister.
Okay, so from where he let's break this down. Where he's from, you hold down the people that will hold you down. Now let me ask you something. Let's just say, for instance, a video came out where Anton Daniels got his ass beat unjustly by the police, who's going to hold Anton Daniels down? Answer that comment for me in the comment section.
No business. I see a bunch of men simping. I see a bunch of men pandering. I see a bunch of men that switch up sides whenever their feelings mean something to them. And they don't stand on nothing. I think
that's exactly what you're doing. You shit on people that you've been rocking with that were part of your network for just pearly things. You're simping for just pearly things. Literally everything that you just described right there, everything that you just said, that's literally what you're doing right now. That's literally what you're doing. And you haven't even gotten a paycheck. Shout out to my man Be Easy, that dude. What's good with it, bro? You ain't even got a paycheck yet, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like what?
Mean to me in order to make sure that I'm on call with people that kill me and stab me in the back.
Shout out to my man CC. What's good with it, bro?
I don't know where y'all came from. Where I'm from, you hold down the people that hold you down. That's where I'm from. You don't go with mob mentality and that. See, I don't think the men are standing on business. I see a bunch of men simping. I see a bunch of men pandering. I see a bunch of men that switch up sides whenever their feelings mean something to them. And they don't.
Is that not what he's doing? Let me ask you guys this. Is everything that he just said what he's doing? If you ask me, we got a little bit of internalized guilt seeping through, because everything that he just listed is literally the reason why I'm doing this live stream right now. Yeah. If you guys agree with Black Bitcoin Key, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Yeah. And I gotta agree, RG, he's simping. Big simping, spending G's. You know what I'm saying?
Don't stand on nothing. I think that, I could be wrong here. I think that real men stand on a square. Now we can agree, we can disagree. Malcolm and Martin, they didn't.
Okay, what square are you standing on? What is your position? Because the thing is that the position that it seems like you're taking is not you standing on your square. You know what I'm saying? It's not him standing on his square at all.
I see things the same way. Absolutely not. But one thing that they wasn't gonna do, they wasn't gonna talk shit about each other's wives. They wasn't gonna throw smut on each other's wives, man. They wasn't. I had a black man, literally, and nobody held him accountable. I had a black man. You know what he did? He jumped on he jumped on Fight Club, and he called my wife a bitch over this weekend. Nobody said nothing. They ain't tripped. They ain't even blink an eye. You know what?
Why didn't you say anything? Why would you let some man call your wife a bitch? See, now what he's also leaving out about this whole thing is that a lot of people are going in on King Riches because of him not defending his woman who's not black. But we're gonna turn this into a black community issue. But again, we got the situation where people are questioning King Riches, not just for his position of being a clown for just pearly things, but also saying, why didn't you say something back when Nick Fuentes said that? Nobody had to do that. Nobody had to do that, but nobody's saying anything about that. My man Keep It 100 says when he mentions his wife, he's basically saying he's doing whatever is going to generate money to support his wife and child. Facts. Facts. Super facts. That's the only reason why he keep bringing that up. Yeah. Facts, Chili. He's a hoe. He's a hoe. He knows that he's a hoe. He doing hoe activities. This dude is unbelievably disingenuous is all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying?
They said, that's just part of the course. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cool. Like that's normal. Listen. You can't get nothing done unless you get your own household together. You got to clean up your own backyard before you start holding somebody else accountable. Now, one thing that I've done is my backyard is spotless. I ain't got no smut on my name. My wife ain't gonna never turn against me. My daughter is straight. My business is straight. I don't owe nobody. I ain't got no debts. Ain't nobody ever say that Anton never did bad business. See, I've come from a space where your actions speak louder than your words. I come from a space, maybe it's just the Detroit in me. Maybe it's just the Detroit in me where they say that what you say is 10% of the conversation and what you do is actually the other 90% that.
Let me ask you guys a question. What's the point of this video? Yeah, he got whole tendencies. Big facts. What's the point? What's the point of this video?
That what you do in the body language is more meaningful than what people say. Obama said a lot. He sold y'all hope. And then he sold you out. That's facts. Listen, I love.
Let me ask you guys something. Are black people the only people that voted for Obama? Last time I checked, there was a lot of white people that voted for Obama too. So this is another thing. Why are we internalizing this message as if it was quote unquote black people that put Obama in office? I don't think he even knows his intended audience. Let me ask you guys, who is his intended audience?
Love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I got things I got to do. I got business that I got to take care of. I got people that I got to hold down. I ain't got time to be sitting here having conversations with people that ain't got my best interest in heart. Listen, do what you feel you need to do. And then I'm going to do what I do, and then we're going to play it like that. All right? Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I wish y'all the best. God bless you. Happy Kwanzaa. Allah salam alaikum. Alaikum salam. The whole 9 yards.
Okay, I don't know what all that was about, but there's two things that I'm concerned about. The first thing that I'm concerned about is, do ballers really be riding a bus like that in Detroit? Is that what they do? And my second question is, what's up with his hoodie like that? Because I kind of tuned out on everything else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got to agree with Kay Williams. I think Anton wants some of that Candace Owens money, which I don't even think is a lot. I honestly think that if Anton Daniels stood on his square and did his own thing and got his audience organically, I think that he could probably make more money. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is that, like, you can see that with people like Jason Black, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Jason Black has the Black Authority channel, and he has The Business, and he has TBA. Right now, I watch those channels a lot because I like Jason Black's take on politics. You know what I'm saying? And The Business is a really good channel too. I think that channels like The Business, channels like Keep It 100, those are the kind of channels that people need to really be promoting, especially people that like, you know, the male kind of talk. You know what I'm saying? But like, the thing is that he has a lot of support from his base. You can see it with the super chats. So even though they're keeping that channel, they're trying to keep that channel below 100,000 subscribers, he's killing it with the support and engagement. So it's blatantly obvious that that channel's not getting the push that it needs to be getting from the YouTube algorithm, but none of it matters because the people that support the channel. And the support and authenticity is what is most important. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tia 2U. What's good with it, Tia? And that's what I'm talking about right there. That is a shining example of that. If Anton Daniels kept it 100, if Anton Daniels actually had a good, genuine message, a good, genuine cause that he wanted to push, his channel would be doing well. But people can see the cracks in the armor, so it's not. So what I want you guys to do is pay close attention to this. We're going to react to the whole thing of this later on tonight. But what I want to show you guys is where Just Pearly Things says that Kevin Samuels was not her biggest influence. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was at about 50 minutes. Now, that's another thing that everybody's been going around saying. Kevin Samuels was her biggest influence. Kevin Samuels this, Kevin Samuels that. According to her, Kevin Samuels wasn't her biggest influence, according to her. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. If Kevin Samuels wasn't her biggest influence, then who is? See, that's the question. Who is? I think this was done last night, Black Bitcoin Key. Tia said, "Oh no, not Detroit getting aired out." Nah, Detroit ain't getting aired out. Just Anton. Then she comes back and said she was a huge fan. Facts. Now let me ask you guys a question. Obsidian has been advocating for her, and Kevin Samuels was supposed to be Obsidian's mans. And everybody knows that she swagger jacked Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? She turned herself into Catherine Samuels. Right? Make sure you guys drop some radiation emoji for CNG215. Rolo Tomasi. Yep. Yeah, that's Hotep Jesus. Yep. That was it. Rolo Tomasi.
No, I don't really believe in most government handouts, so I wouldn't believe in that either.
Oh, well, she starts out, may as well go back a little bit, right? Because what could she have possibly been talking about government handouts? And let me tell you something. If she doesn't believe in government handouts, what's she doing to get white Americans off of welfare? And what's she doing to take money out of Ukraine's pocket? See?
Thanks for what I read.
Interesting. I'll be honest with you. From the material I've seen, you don't seem like the type of person that's a history buff, right? Like you're playing volleyball, you're studying business and economics. You're probably not like doing a heavy lifting of history studies, right?
I wouldn't say history studies. I just used to listen to audiobooks a lot when I ran. So I just used to listen to a lot of Thomas Sowell. I used to listen to like some old bibliographies. I ran a marathon. I did marathon training.
What made you listen to Thomas Sowell? See, that's the question. How did you come in contact with Thomas Sowell? What made you have an affinity to listen to Thomas Sowell? And now this is when she was doing her sports and running and marathons and stuff. So this was pre Kevin Samuels era, right? So how'd you come in contact with Kevin Sowell to want to listen to him and have him influence you? See, that's the question that we got to ask. What do you guys think? I think it's because those attitudes were always there, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? But I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. Right.
A couple years ago, and that's like what I used to do. So I wouldn't say I'm like an expert on world history. No, just that listens to books sometimes. Yeah.
See, that's the impression I got.
So that's interesting, right? Because you're not an expert at world history, but what you didn't say, you didn't say, well, during World War II, Japanese people, they got steak and shrimp in the internment camps, so it wasn't that bad. Like, you didn't say that. You see, you didn't say that. I wonder why she didn't say that. Why didn't she say that? No. It's interesting.
Just maybe you haven't seen.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in here that's a content creator, make sure you guys drop the links to your channels so people can go and check you guys' channels out. You know what I'm saying? We got some great content creators in the building. We got Tori and Rain, TD Hip Hop Media, Harrison Family Vlogs, KO Kid Fit, Keep It 100. We got a bunch of good people in here, so make sure you guys go and check them out and support them.
All the documentation surrounding all of these random events throughout history, or maybe they're not random at all. Definitely many of them planned. But I just want to understand, how you view this thing, because you're not for reparations either, right? You're like, that's a no-go.
Hard line stance. She got a hard stance on that. You know what I'm saying? She got a hard stance on that. No reparations. And that's cool, right? Like, that's the cool thing to be. Even with a lot of black people. Like, look at a lot of the black dudes on that weirdo side. I guarantee you, right? And this is one of the reasons why I'm about to, when it comes to the Surviving the Suburbs series, I'm going to start doing my content about how the heroin epidemic is fake and why our tax dollars don't need to go towards the choice that people make to shoot dog food into their veins. Because addiction is a choice. Now, see, that sounds more reasonable than saying slavery was a choice, right? But people would be saying that I'm disgusting and vile, and I can't believe you would say such things. Well, believe it. Assume that I would say such things and keep yourself safe by assuming I would do worse things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Terrence Jackson says you may need to make a new channel to be shut down for that. Well, make sure you guys subscribe to my backup channels. Take a moment real quick and subscribe to them backup channels. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Meaning you're against reparations.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty open on my channel that I'm pretty conservative.
Yeah,
like, very conservative, and I've said that from.
Let me ask you guys a question. What does conservatism have to do with being anti-reparations? I'm pretty sure there's some black conservatives out there, and I think you guys would be surprised who they are that are pro-reparations. So what does being moral and ethical and paying your debt have to do with being conservative? Shout out to my man Fantizzy. What up with it, bro? I want to, is there anybody in the comment section that has that answer for me? Because if the answer to I'm anti-reparations is the fact that I'm conservative, now we know that politics is white people's vehicle of talking about race. So they can no longer say, stop bringing race into it, because they actually brought the concept of race into the world. So again, we're sliding accountability, and they can never be allowed to slide accountability. And a lot of times when they have these interviews and different things like that, I don't know why this happens, but a lot of times these hosts don't really take them to task on the nonsense. And see, if you ask me, they need to be taken to task on the nonsense at all times with consistent high pressure intensity, always. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says Pearl failed to gain any momentum in the white red pill space, then moved to the black one because she knows the world is correct and Negroes will worship her. Yeah, facts. I gotta agree with that. If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. And not only do I think that Negroes will worship her, I think that because of the situation that we are in the world, a lot of Negroes will worship her, not even simply because she's white, but because she's appealing to a lot of the issues and failures that men have without holding men accountable to those failures. And a lot of dudes out here are lazy and actually don't want to grind down and do what's necessary to lift us out of this situation that we're in. So it's kind of like listening to somebody tell you what you want to hear, which, if you ask me, that's what a lot of female male content creators make. You know, the female male advocates. I don't believe that. I don't believe that any of these women don't give a man a hard time. I don't believe it, man. A lot of times women are just wired to give you a hard time. So sometimes you will ask a woman and they'll be honest about it. I was in a bad mood and you're here, so you're dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. These women, like just pearly things, these are the very kind of women that they talk about. These are the modern women. Like, just pearly things is a feminist. She used feminism to get where she's at right now. She is an independent woman. She is a modern woman. Look at how much money she makes. Everything that she talks about She is. You know what I'm saying? Just like Anton Daniels. Shout out to Mark. What's good with it, bro?
Beginning. So, no, I don't really believe in most government handouts. So I wouldn't believe in that either.
So then that means, since you don't believe in most government handouts, will you donate to my construction company so I can go through the suburbs and knock down all of the methadone clinics that give away free methadone that's paid for by taxpayer dollars because certain people just can't keep heroin needles out of their arms? Will you support me in my anti-methadone clinic crusade across the United States with the first donation, since you're against handouts? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. Let me guess, why not? Because I'm a conservative.
Interesting. Wow. Conservative. So how do you draw the correlation between conservatism and reparations? I guess the parallel you're drawing here is basically saying,
see, I'm really surprised that Hotep Jesus asked that question, but that's a good question. And that's good, because that's a question that's going to put her on the hot seat. Because again, if politics doesn't have anything to do with race, then why does I'm a conservative get you out of giving the reason for your anti-reparations position? That's the dog whistle. Keep it 100. That's the dog whistle. Handout equals anything that'll benefit black people. Facts. Does she know who predominantly benefited from government handouts? Nope. But if she gave me that donation that I'm asking for, she would find out. And drop some radiation emojis for the new subscribers that we got. We got some people that just subscribed, so shout out to everybody that just subscribed. Here's the question. Is Pearly Things a modern woman? If Pearly Things is a modern woman, give me a thumbs up. If she's not, give me a thumbs down.
If the government has to do it, then it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't seen like how that would work. Yeah, I mean, like you're taking money from people that didn't do anything. Like, I mean, like
they did do something, and slavery did affect everybody today. There wouldn't be slavery affects everybody that's alive today. The racial wealth gap and the white upper class of the United States is how slavery is affecting everybody today. Your family being wealthy and having black people locked out of competition is how slavery affected your family positively today. There's people that are being affected by slavery positively today. White people are affected by slavery today. It's one of the reasons why they get rich off of everybody. Slavery affects people that are alive today. So we're not gonna do that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
maybe their ancestors did, but they didn't. And I'm just not really like for that.
So I'm interested. I'm curious if she's a bloodline of Doso, like Ben Affleck and Joe Biden. Let me ask you guys a question. How are you pro-slavery, but you're against handouts? If you ask me, slavery was probably the biggest handout in American history. If you guys agree that slavery was the biggest handout in American history, give me a thumbs up. If it wasn't, give me a thumbs down. Now, who did slavery benefit? Slavery benefited the slave owners, and slavery benefited all people who weren't black because it created an immediate bottom social class. And also the entire United States economy benefited from slavery and what slavery did to generate a better economy.
Even if the effects of said thing are affecting those people today.
See, and that's good. See, I'm so glad. And again, like I said, Hotep Jesus did pretty well with this interview, because he asked some questions that are not the traditional question. Like, because a lot of times with these interviews, or a lot of times with these kind of conversation, these people are expected a pass. Like, they expect to just get given a pass and not get asked and pushed up on the hard questions. And I'm not mad at Hotep Jesus on this interview. Now, I do be mad at Hotep Jesus sometimes. I'm not even going front. I'll be mad at Hotep Jesus sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not mad at him in this interview, though. He did his thing, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of parts in this interview, if you ask me. And now what I find fascinating, too, is that Just Pearly Things has gone and interviewed on everybody's platform except for the one individual who actually asked her to call into his show. Does anybody notice that? Because last time I checked, there was only one person who said, call into my show. Not only did that person say, call into my show, he then did a follow-up stream where he invited her a second time to call up to his show. And she was a no call, no show, which I'm sure she would fire an African for.
I just don't think that's fair to do that to someone that hasn't done anything for someone that hasn't actually gone through it. So that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. So I guess what you...
So none of us go through anything as a result of slavery. According to Just Pearly Things. Man, she's going to be rocking with PragerU in no time. She's gonna be working with PragerU, or what was it, DJ Elmo, Turning Point USA, or the Daily Wire in no time. She's gonna be doing shows with Steven Crowder. You guys remember when I did the videos about her a couple months ago, I literally said that this is what was gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. And with the election coming up in 2024, man, listen.
Basically saying is the taxpayer shouldn't bear the burden of reparations. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Now watch this, y'all. Y'all about to die laughing. If y'all catch this part, when y'all catch it, throw some laughing emojis in the chat.
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't seen like how that would work. Yeah, I mean, you're taking money from people that didn't do anything. Like, I mean, like maybe their ancestors did, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not really like for that.
I don't know if it's just me, because I've been like, trying to copyright protect and play these at faster speeds. But like at 1.5 now, it doesn't even sound like I have it sped up. And that worries me, because I'm not trying to get no copyright strike. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know y'all know how she gets down. You know what I'm saying?
Even if the effects of said thing are affecting those people today.
I just don't think that's fair to do that to someone that hasn't done anything.
I don't think it's fair for people that are alive today to be affected by something that they had no part of. So now what? Just like how she doesn't think that it's fair that people who didn't own slaves, don't own slaves today, shouldn't have to pay for it. I don't think that the descendants of slaves should have to pay for it either. The only problem is that, as you can see, the racial wealth gap isn't a one correlation, which means that we're still paying for it, which is why we have a deficit. So what are you going to do about that then? And see, and here's my thing. They're not going to do anything about it. Shout out to my man Lala Papa B1. What's good with it, bro? DJ Elmo says PNAS scientific journal showed due to racism, black people experience shortened telomeres, which indicates your lifespan. Yeah, I saw something that there was a video, there was an article that came out from Business Insider where they talked about that. Yep. That's facts, DJ Elmo. And then there's the what do they call that? The epigenetics.
For someone that hasn't actually gone through it. So that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. So I guess what you're basically saying is the taxpayer shouldn't bear the burden of reparations. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I get that. I actually agree with that. I think there's a litany of companies that have already admitted to the slavery problem. I've spoken about this plenty of times. Barclays, insurance companies, banks, mostly banks and insurance companies. So I definitely don't want to pay my own reparations. Did you ever try to...
Did you see how he slid that in there? Did you see how Hotep Jesus slid that in there? That was slick.
All the documentation surrounding all of these random events throughout history, or maybe they're not random at all, definitely many. But I just want to understand, how you view this thing, because you're not for reparations either, right? You're like, that's a no-go. Meaning you're against reparations.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty open on my channel that I'm pretty conservative.
Yeah.
Like, very conservative. And I've said that from the beginning. So, no, I don't really believe in most government handouts. So I wouldn't believe in that either.
Interesting. Wow. Conservative. So, how do you draw the correlation between conservatism and reparations? I guess the parallel you're drawing here is basically saying if the government has to do it, then, it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't seen like how that would work. Yeah, I mean, like you're taking money from people that didn't do anything. Like, I mean, like maybe their ancestors did, but they didn't. And I'm just not really like for that.
Even if the effects of said thing are affecting those people today.
I just don't think that's fair to do that to someone that hasn't done anything for someone that hasn't actually gone through it. So that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. So I guess what you're basically saying is the taxpayer shouldn't bear the burden of reparations. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I get that. I actually agree with that. I think there's a litany of companies that have already admitted to the slavery problem. I've spoken about this plenty of times. Barclays, insurance companies, banks, mostly banks and insurance companies. So I definitely don't want to pay my own reparations. Did you ever...
Oh man, that was great. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Hotep Jesus for that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hotep Jesus for that, man. He got that in. That was like right at the bell. You know how it's like if you watching like MMA or you watching boxing and somebody get like a real hard punch in like right when the bell rings? That was what that was right there. Look at, is she rocking back and forth in the chair? She rocking back and forth in the chair like she about to cast some kind of spell on somebody and get the defense force talking for her. Look at her. She doing that stirring the teacup sunken place shit with that candle lit in the background. Look at that.
Try to imagine a world where reparations does make sense, where reparations would be paid.
No, I haven't really gotten that deep into the thought process of reparations. I've just heard about it, and people pitched it to me.
Yeah,
I just said that doesn't seem like something I would go for.
So you haven't thought that deeply about it, but you just know it's a no-go. I wonder if she makes decisions about the kind of men that she hops in bed with that quick. And I wonder if that kind of decision process is part of her wife school or femininity school. You know what I'm saying? Because usually there's a little bit of thought process that goes into decision making, right? She hasn't really thought that deeply about it, but one thing that she knows is that it just shouldn't be a thing. Now, how can Anton Daniels or Obsidian defend that? That's my question. That's the question.
Okay. Did you? Because I know that the conversation you had with Sa in regards to reparations, this is very old. This is before you even get the studio and all of that stuff, right? So they pulled that clip out, and then that's a discussion now. But that's obviously, your stance on it. So I guess you're against all the money going to Ukraine and all of that stuff too.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know a ton about the Ukraine.
Yeah.
I mean, but you don't know a ton about slavery either, though. So what is your standard for being against something? You see, she doesn't know anything about slavery, but there shouldn't be any reparations given. I don't know a ton about Ukraine, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut about Ukraine. So again, like I said, how can Obsidian or, you know, any of the people that defend any of this, how can you defend that when there's no logic there? How does that work? Does that make any sense at all? If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it doesn't make any sense, give me a thumbs down. My humble opinion, that doesn't make any sense. Because what you're doing is now your standard of treating things that you don't know anything about is different. I don't know anything about Ukraine. I have no opinion on it. I don't know anything about slavery, but I do have an opinion on it. How does that work? It doesn't. So if it doesn't work for her, then the people that are sticking up for her, we got to ask, how is anything making sense for them that they're saying? Because again, how do you stick up for this? What does a defense for this look like? You see? That's the question that we got to ask.
To do that to someone that hasn't done anything for someone that hasn't actually gone through it. So just my opinion on it. Yeah.
So I guess what you're basically saying is the taxpayer shouldn't bear the burden of reparations. Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. I get that. I actually agree with that. I think there's a litany of companies that have already admitted to the slavery problem. I've spoken about this plenty of times. Barclays, insurance companies, banks, mostly banks and insurance companies.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. The irony is the whole system of WS is a welfare system handout for white people, whether consciously or unconsciously. I agree. Do you guys remember that video that I did? And it was called A Blurred in Arizona Found Out the Hard Way That the World is Correct. And he was outside of, ironically, a Chase Bank, and police just ran up on him and arrested him. And there was a white lady who was there, and she was like, nah, this shit ain't cool. Because if this was my husband, I wouldn't want this shit to happen to him. And she called the police, or she didn't call the police, but she did something to get the police investigated. And they ended up getting investigated, dropped the charges on him. He was a Wall Street Journal journalist. When they did the interview with that lady who called the police, they asked the question, well, or not called the police, but called internal affairs or whoever it was that she called to get the police investigated. They asked her, why did you do that? And she said, because I know that because I'm a white person, it'll make a difference. They understand that shit. So honestly, if you ask me, even the extent of quote unquote unconsciously is very negligible, if you ask me. But I get what you're saying though, DJ Elmo, and I agree 110%. But I just wanted to bring that up to make that point that I think that the only people that are unconscious of white supremacy are the black people and non-white people that are confused about how it actually works or its existence. I don't think that there's any white person on the planet anywhere that's unconscious of the way that the world is set up, especially seeing how it's set up from the design that came from the brain of a person similar to them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man AB Promotions for the $2 super chat. Make sure you guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat and show some love. He says she doesn't know anything when it's convenient, just like those people that kill people and they're on the stand. Well, I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know how I did it. Oh, you don't, but you did it. You know what I'm saying?
So I definitely don't want to pay my own reparations. Did you ever try to imagine a world where reparations does make sense, where reparations would be paid?
No, I haven't really gotten that deep into the thought process of reparations. I've just heard about it, and people pitched it to me. Yeah, I just said that doesn't seem like something I would go for.
Okay. Did you?
Now notice how she never says why not, and I want to ask you guys that. Why not? Why doesn't she want to go for it? Does that make any sense? And again, simply asking a question isn't forcing somebody to do anything. See, a lot of these people that come in white knight for these people, they'll be like, oh, they're getting attacked by the woke mob and people are coming after them, and nobody's making anybody do anything. I mean, making somebody or expecting somebody to defend their position isn't making anybody do anything. Shout out to Hey Mr. Knickerbocker. And I agree. Translation. So I don't know ish. Haven't bothered to really research. I'm white and I say so. If you guys agree with Hey Mr. Knickerbocker, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now what we got to understand is that this is what we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So people need to be able to be ready to support each other, and people need to be able to combat this with information and accuracy, asking the right questions, getting the truth out, whether it's by getting them to answer the question or whether it's triggering them and getting them to get an emotional response that you can get on the record, regardless of what it is. It's got to come. You know what I'm saying?
Because I know the conversation you had with Sa in regards to reparations, this is very old. This is before you even get the studio and all of that stuff, right? So, you know, they pulled that clip out, and then that's a discussion now. That's obviously, you know, your stance on it. So I guess you're against all the money going to Ukraine and all of that stuff too.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a ton about the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Most of what I learned about the Ukraine was from that Nick Fuentes interview. So from what I know, I probably would not be for that. I'm generally keep the money in-house, but I don't really have strong opinions on it.
Yeah.
Paying reparations is keeping the money in-house. You're not going to be sending. That's the only reparations is not foreign aid. It's domestic aid. Reparations is actually America first, because literally no one overseas is going to be getting reparations from the United States government. Reparations is the ultimate America first financial policy. If you guys would agree with me that reparations is the ultimate America first financial policy, where damn near $0 of it would go overseas to support China, Russia, or any government antagonistic towards the United States, give me a thumbs up. If it's not, give me a thumbs down. Let me ask you guys a question. If you're conservative, right? If you're America first, then how can you not support reparations, which would be domestic aid? See, I see people ask all those stupid ass questions about shit. I got stupid ass questions. Shout out to Hobb. What's good with it, bro? You see, you guys like my you guys like my stupid questions. If you guys like my stupid questions, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. I want some conservative to come in here and tell me right now how reparations isn't America first. I'll wait. I'll wait. Shout out to a lady 747. What's good with it, a lady? I'll wait. There's literally no conservative that shouldn't be on board with reparations, because reparations is the only policy guaranteed to go directly into the United States economy. And shout out to Stay Blessed Israel. Make sure you guys drop some radiation emoji for the new subscribers. Now, see, this is what I'm saying. You guys see that, right? Pay attention to how many people subscribe to my channel each stream, and pay attention to how my subscriber count. It'll even go down on some days, but it never goes up. But pay attention to how the subscriber count goes up. Now, we all know that sometimes people subscribe and then they leave, right? But if they subscribe and they leave from my channel, then how is it that the live number continues to grow each time we go live? See, pay attention to what YouTube be doing. DJ Elmo says, I will pay front row seats to see you debate, interview this interloper called Pearl. Psh, she's not even worth our time, bro. She's not even worth our time, because there's literally nothing that we would get out of interviewing her. She's a waste of breath. You know what I'm saying? At least reviewing these videos and reacting to these videos, you guys can get some laughs. You know what I'm saying? You guys might be able to do a little bit more research, expand on some talking points. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, have a clear analysis, or be able to come up with your own, you know, positions on things. As far as me directly interviewing her, I've always had this position on her. I'm just glad that people finally see it. As far as us having any kind of interview, there's no benefit to me debating her, because we're not going to get $1 off of anything except for possibly ad revenue. And then even if we get the ad revenue, knowing herself, she kind of crazy, man. She might try to strike the channel. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's even worth it. Nah, I'll debate the president. I'll debate Joe Biden all day. You know what I'm saying? I'd not only debate Joe Biden, I'd actually have a casual conversation with Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping about what they could possibly do to encourage the United States to become pro-reparations. I'd do some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because Biden has a history of ignoring when black people want to talk to him directly. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Leo the Last. Leo says Anton and Obsidian do not support reparations for FBA, ADOS, or anyone for that matter. Now, I would have to ask them the same question that Hotep Jesus asked. What's their position on Ukraine? Right? She on that. That's why they need to start calling her Suge White from Methro Records. You know what I'm saying? Bethro Records. Suge White out here signing them deals. You know what I'm saying? And Sarah Garvey better be careful if he ever in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? You see what be happening. You know?
Oh, yeah. So you mentioned being a conservative. You've been a conservative your whole life? Or is that a recent thing?
I would say I've been more conservative. What do they say? If you're not a liberal, if you're not at least a little liberal in college, you don't have a heart.
Right.
That's what my dad, but he would say if you're not a
now that's interesting. If you're not a little liberal in college, then you don't have a heart. Let me ask y'all, what does that mean? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, show some love, throw some radiation emoji in the chat for my man, the 6'4" with the $5 super chat. He says, agreed. If you guys agree as well, show some love.
Conservative by the time you're 40 and you don't have a job. For the most part, yeah, I've always been more conservative. I'm very pro-life due to like the fact that my parents gave up my brother for adoption. Yeah. So because of that, that's one reason I'm conservative, but that's the hill I'll die on. But
no, I did that. I totally did that. I'm definitely on the conservative side of things here. You know, it's just like, it's a touchy subject, you know, when we talk about reparations, conservatism, and then like, you know, people are saying things like,
let me ask you guys a question. Why is it a touchy subject when we talk about reparations, but a white person can just blurt out that black people make up 13% of the population and commit 55% of the crime and nobody's supposed to care about that? Anybody ever ask that question? Anybody ever think about that? Does that make any sense? AB said he about to subscribe to Hotep Jesus. Yeah, I used to watch Hotep Jesus on the other app that I used to do my live streams on. Sometimes I would agree with him, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I feel like, yeah, bro, you know what I'm saying? Now he's a conservative. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of times there may be some stuff that he says that, you know, people don't agree with. But, you know, he would have, you gotta watch the Joe Rogan interview with Hotep Jesus. I want to listen. There's an interview where Hotep Jesus interviewed Joe Rogan, or Joe Rogan interviewed Hotep Jesus. Watch the comments section. Read the comments. There was a time when Candace Owens debated Blair White. Read the comment section. I don't think a lot of these black conservatives ever read the comment section when they debate or have an issue with a white person, because those comment sections right there will reveal to you how little your conservatism means when it comes to you versus another one of them. And I don't know why they ignore that. That would be one of the things that I would pay very close attention to. Shout out to my man Sean Williams. What's good with it, bro?
You filled the vacuum that was...
Okay, this is important. This is the part right here. She filled the vacuum. You know what that means? What does it mean if you fill a vacuum? Let's do a little physics lesson here. If you fill a vacuum, what does that mean? Have you guys ever vacuum cleaned Have you guys ever vacuum cleaned the floor? If you've ever vacuum cleaned the floor, give me a thumbs up. If you fill a vacuum, what does that mean? It means you suck hard. You know what I'm saying?
created after Kevin Samuels passed, right? And that's really what they're saying is like, you know, you built your brand off of black people, but now it's like they're starting to see like, you know, you're not exactly for the culture, let's say. You're just doing business. Would that make sense?
I mean, my first
and I mean that's straight out of Neely Fuller Jr. Like this, you know what I'm saying? The white supremacy model. It's a business model. That's one of the ways that they can get away from saying things are about race. Which and the thing is that here's my thing, right? If people went into it, right? Like if you went into the deal with just Pearly Things with the understanding that you're doing business. This lady doesn't care about you. It's literally a 9 to 5. And you did your content like that and made sure that you just did your content talking about the things that you're talking about and didn't try to push any political agendas or political narratives. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't trip. Because you know exactly what time it is. You're there for a reason. It would be almost like Rashad Ritchie with the Young Turks. I think that Rashad Ritchie is a lot more on top of things than he is, but he works for the Young Turks. So he's got to tailor his message towards a darker Young Turks audience, which, as you can see with his commentaries and his videos, he does. You know what I'm saying? So if you're being honest about that, I wouldn't have an issue with it. The fact that they're trying to make this look like some kind of authentic little, you know, organic podcast and it's not, you know, a larger machine behind it, I have an issue with it. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody answering the Nightbot. So I want y'all to pay attention to this, right? I'm not gonna stop it through this part. I might actually come back and run it again, but I want y'all to hear this part.
Things like you filled the vacuum that was created after Kevin Samuels passed, right? And that's really what they're saying is like, you know, you built your brand off of black people, but now it's like they're starting to see like, you know, you're not exactly for the culture, let's say. You're just doing business. Would that make sense? I
mean, my first viral video was like that when I started actually making money off of YouTube. You know I've reacted to probably more than anyone? Jordan Peterson. Okay, Jordan Peterson, that was my #1. So
immediately move the conversation away from Kevin Samuels or any influence that Kevin Samuels had. Jordan Peterson. Now, where's Obsidian's comments about that? I'm not surprised that she watches Jordan Peterson, and I'm not surprised that Jordan Peterson is a heavy influence in her content. Jordan Peterson is also a white supremacist, and anybody that's been following my content for a long time knows that that was one of the initial issues that I had with people like Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews and people like Kevin Samuels. So why are you out here quoting and supporting the comments and things that a white supremacist is saying? And people will give me backlash. Yeah, he's not a white supremacist. Okay, all right. Everybody, make sure you guys show some love and drop some radiation emoji from my man Kareem Yee with the $4.99 super chat. He says her operation is anything but organic. I agree 110%. Yeah. And yeah, a lady 747, like Kevin Samuels didn't do anything. That it's just wild. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jada Informant. What's good with it, bro? It's just wild. Immediately shift the conversation away from Kevin Samuels. Whether you like Kevin Samuels or not, we know that Kevin Samuels had an influence on her content. That's undeniable. Kevin Samuels is the visual person that has an impact. Jordan Peterson didn't have you putting the candles back there. Jordan Peterson doesn't have the nice live stream studio. Jordan Peterson doesn't have the neon sign that says on live or the ambient lights. Kevin Samuels was a style person, interior design type person. You know what I'm saying? You can see his fingerprint on something. Like, stop it. You might have got some talking points from Jordan Peterson because Kevin Samuels used Jordan Peterson talking points. But when we're talking about design, when we're talking about presence, when we're talking about the questions that he asked, all of that Kevin Samuels stuff. Now, we know Kevin Samuels took a lot of stuff from a lot of places too. He took from Jason Black too. But all of that mix that Kevin Samuels put together, she took from that mix. She doesn't even know all of the people who forefathered her content. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys show some love to Hey Mr. Knickerbocker, who became a YouTube member. She's been a YouTube member, but she just re-upped. If you guys are interested in becoming YouTube members, it helps the channel. The best thing about the membership is that they are only 99 cents. You know what I'm saying? So show some love to Hey Mr. Knickerbocker for rejoining the membership, and consider joining the membership.
Things like you filled the vacuum that was created after Kevin Samuels passed, right? And that's really what they're saying is like, you know, you built your brand off of Black people, but now it's like they're starting to see like, you know, you're not exactly for the culture, let's say. You're just doing business. Would that make sense?
I mean, my first viral video was like that when I started actually making money off of YouTube. You know I've reacted to probably more than anyone? Jordan Peterson.
All right, so now pay attention again. What I want you guys to pay attention to is that she just didn't answer the question. Now, out of all the content that anybody's watched, especially the interview content, how many times have you saw her just not answer a question? When somebody just doesn't answer a question, that's a show of authority that I don't have to acknowledge what you're asking me. Because if you're in court and you're asked a question and the judge doesn't agree with an objection and tells you you need to answer the question, if you don't answer the question, you can be found in contempt of court, which means that there's a standard requirement of having to answer the question. When people do what she's doing and deflect like the way that she's doing, that's her attempting to exert authority to show that I don't have to follow your rules. I'm the one that's in control here. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, I'm not saying that to go in on Hotep Jesus, because if I want to go in on Hotep Jesus, I'm going to go in on Hotep Jesus for some of that nonsense that he be doing. But I'm not going in on Hotep Jesus about that. What I'm doing is I want you to understand that Hotep Jesus is asking her the right questions. See, this is an actual interview, not that nonsense where you got a bunch of people up there on the panel and only certain people can get the questions out, and you know what I'm saying, it's agenda based. This is in my opinion, this is probably the best interview that I've seen of her. I don't think she expected Hotep Jesus to come with these questions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I agree. If you guys agree with Lala Papa, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Lala Papa says she did the same exact thing to Fuentes. However, she's simply doing a soft power play here. Yeah, I agree. And that's that deflection. I want to know what her, being that she's a female athlete, I want to know what Just Pearly Thing's stance is on Angel Reese. And usually she's not scared to open up her mouth about anything. So I'm surprised that she hasn't made a statement or said anything about the Angel Reese's situation. What do you guys think that her stance is on Angel Reese? That's my question.
So that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. So I guess what you're basically saying is the taxpayer shouldn't bear the burden of reparations. Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. I get that. I actually agree with that. I think there's a litany of companies that have already admitted to the slavery problem. I've spoken about this plenty of times. Barclays, insurance companies, banks, mostly banks and insurance companies. So I definitely don't want to pay my own reparations. Did you ever try to imagine a world where reparations does make sense? Where reparations would be paid?
No, I haven't really gotten that deep into the thought process of reparations. I've just heard about it, and people pitched it to me. Yeah, I just said that doesn't seem like something I would go for.
Okay. Did you because I know that the conversation you had with Sa in regards to reparations, this is very old. This is before you even get the studio and all of that stuff, right? So they pulled that clip out, and then that's a discussion now. But that's obviously your stance on it. So I guess you're against all the money going to Ukraine and all of that stuff too.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a ton about the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Most of what I learned about the Ukraine was from that Nick Fuentes interview. So from what I know, I probably would not be for that. I'm generally keep the money in-house, but I don't really have strong opinions on it.
Yeah. So you mentioned being a conservative. You've been a conservative your whole life? Or is that a recent thing?
I would say I've been more conservative. What do they say? If you're not a liberal, if you're not at least a little liberal in college, you don't have a heart.
Right.
That's my dad, but he would say if you're not a conservative by the time you're 40 and you don't have a job. For the most part, yeah, I've always been more conservative. I'm very pro-life due to like the fact that my parents gave up my brother for adoption. Yeah. So because of that, that's one reason I'm conservative, but that's the hill I'll die on. But
no, I did that. I totally did that. I'm definitely on the conservative side of things here. It's just like, it's a touchy subject, when we talk about reparations, conservatism, and then people are saying things like, you filled the vacuum that was created after Kevin Samuels passed, right? And that's really what they're saying is like, you built your brand off of Black people, but now it's like they're starting to see like, you're not exactly for the culture, let's say. You're just doing business. Would that make sense?
I mean, my first viral video was like that when I started actually making money off of YouTube. You know I've reacted to probably more than anyone? Jordan Peterson. Okay. Jordan Peterson, that was my number one. So I mean, in terms of influences, I would say Fresh and Fit, Kevin Samuels, Jordan Peterson were like my three, and Rollo, probably my four biggest influences with the show. So I do think a sector of my audience found me from Kevin Samuels, but
so now notice she still put Kevin Samuels in there, but then she says he's one of her biggest influences, but he's not her biggest influence. Do you guys see this? Just like when Super Sly was grilling her on Obsidian's panel. Look at how she looked when he said you built your brand off Black people. Really uncomfortable. And I think that that's the reason why she doesn't use Kevin Samuel as her greatest influence, because the moment she says that Kevin Samuels is her greatest influence, she's now basically said, yeah, I built my brand off of Black people. Kevin Samuels is a Black man. You know what I'm saying? So just pay attention to this, man, because and the thing is that this isn't specific to YouTube. You'll see people at your job do this exact same shit. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta agree with Sean right there. Criminals try not to directly point out who they stole from. Facts. So this is just something that people should expect. We should all be expecting this kind of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I heard about her stance on reparations and all of that stuff, man, I already knew what time it was with her, man. I knew what time it was with her. You know what I mean? And I had literally said, she's not going to give Kevin Samuels any credit. If she's ever grilled about any of the stuff going on, she's not going to give Kevin Samuels any credit. And I find it fascinating that the guy who is one of Kevin Samuels' like closest people on YouTube is like really one of her number one soldiers. I just find that extremely hypocritical and sad, actually. Now, I could only imagine he would go live and say, well, she didn't say nothing bad about Kevin Samuels. She just said, okay. Yeah, TLA, Obsidian, both of them. They'll make excuses for her. Even when she's not making any kind of excuse to say, you know, Kevin Samuels was my number one influence. Let me ask you guys something. We're looking at her studio. We're looking at her setup. We're looking at the kind of content that she did. How did Jordan Peterson influence the way that her studio looks? Somebody explain that to me. How did Rollo Tomasi influence how her studio looks? Now, her old studio looked like Rollo's, but not the one that brought her 1 million subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Her studio doesn't look like Fresh and Fit's. Fresh and Fit studio got like more of an urban kind of look. You know, like Fresh and Fit studio, like it looks like some Miami type shit. Kevin Samuels had that like nice restaurant, you know, the high class type feel. Like the ambient lights and you know what I mean? If you go down the line and ask who influenced what, yeah, maybe Jordan Peterson influenced some of the content because Jordan Peterson influenced all of those guys, right? Same with Rollo. But when it comes to the entire production of the show, undoubtedly that has Kevin Samuels' fingerprint on it. So for her to say that Kevin Samuels isn't her greatest influence, to me, is her not telling the truth. And the very people that are defending her, in my opinion, should also be publicly questioning her about how is it that Kevin Samuels isn't your greatest influence? How did Jordan Peterson or Rollo Tomasi influence your broadcasting? But they're not going to do that. Because instead of defending their late friend, they have to make sure that the quote unquote bag is in order. The only bag that they need to be worried about is the one that they put over her head if they find themselves in bed with her. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. That's the only bag they need to be worried about. But they're worried about the financial bag more so than the integrity. And if these people are the quote unquote OGs and you see a breakdown of integrity like this, it makes a lot of sense why the people that follow those kind of people are the way that they are. You know what I'm saying? The people that follow them are a reflection of the leader. You know what I mean? And that's why those people are the way they are. They're calling into streams, yelling at people. You know what I'm saying? Can't put together a sentence, can't put together a thought, can't put together a Duplo structure, can't put together some Legos that only come with 50 in a pack. Blaming women for all of the world's ills. It's the same thing. The only thing different from the people that do the videos and the people in the comment section is just that those people comment, the other ones do the videos. Aside from that, they're all the same people. It's a whole clone army. And that's why you see this breakdown. And that's why you see this embarrassing situation taking place, because these people are literally learning from the people that they watch. AB Promotion said 2 bags, and they need a plastic bag and tie it around there like how Anton Daniels had that hood tied around over his head. Like his mom just sent him out to the school bus, which is crazy because he then actually got on a bus, you know, so there's that. But
to say like that the majority of my audience watched him, I just don't, that's not true. And I can see it in my analytics because it shows you the other channels that they watched, and it really wasn't Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, I could not imagine a white girl.
So you mean to tell me that I don't believe that? I don't believe that, because there was a time when my content correlated with people that watched my channel, watched Kevin Samuels. And I know that, you know what I'm saying? Like some sectors of my audience ain't fucking with Kevin Samuels. But there was a time and a place where my channel correlated with Kevin Samuels. And I don't even do relationship content or male coaching or anything like that. I talk about topics. I'm a topical channel. You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me you talking about the same stuff as him? You basically have a similar type aesthetic and studio as him, using the similar titles. I don't have any videos titled Modern Woman. You know what I'm saying? None of that kind of stuff. Like I said, like I'm a topical channel. I talk about topics. Yeah, that's true, KG. That's true. Big facts. But yeah, you know what? And that's a really good point. I bet you had she been at this period now though. Let's say that, like, if Kevin Samuels was still alive, or if she had been at her peak when Kevin Samuels was alive, her content would have overlapped. Because if my content overlapped with that channel, there's no way that hers didn't. My content isn't correlated to any relationship type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just simply a male demographic. Like there was some black men, most black men watch Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, other content that other black men would watch, the algorithm will pick it up. There's channels that my channel is correlated with, and I'm like, for real, I'm correlated with that person. You'd think I'm correlated with this, and this, but I'm correlated with that. So, you know, it's just interesting. And I honestly, like this right here, to me, this on her part, this is shameful, disingenuous. Honestly, this right here, the guys that are caping for her, who were like Anton Daniels was cool with Kevin Samuels. It's just crazy. Y'all gonna get her up on the show and ask her about her comments that she made about Kevin Samuels? Because everybody sure as hell did grill Fresh and Fit. Yeah, I agree. Kid Gravity says she probably gets O'Shea and Obsidian fans. I agree. She probably does, especially Obsidian fans.
From the suburbs, filling the void of Kevin Samuels. I'd like to go on the record and say I thought that shit sounded stupid when I first heard it.
No, I mean, freaking, that was so interesting when they're like, "This is your new leader." I'm like, when did I say I was a leader? I'm doing my YouTube channel. Like, I'm sorry, I'm successful. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, I don't know anything. I'm sorry, I'm successful. The algorithm has no reason to give me as many viewers as it does, but it just does. Like, oh my God, like I just fell into all this money. Let me just do my thing. Let me just talk shit about slavery and get your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just get my money. Give her the money. You know what I'm saying? Give her the money. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that got the money for her. Hey, okay, baby, I got my money. That's probably what Obsidian's singing right now. Oh, dirty bastard. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit. Baby, I got your money. Yo, we got a new subscriber, Mac Lane TV. Make sure y'all show some love. Drop some radiation emoji in the chat. Yeah, give me the loot. Give me a loot. I'm a bad white girl. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. I'm a bad white girl. Man, listen, all this walking is hurting my feet. So where we gonna stream live from the Isuzu Jeep? Oh man, terrible, man, terrible. Terrible.
And also they watch, and it really wasn't Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, I could not imagine a white girl from the suburbs filling the void of Kevin Samuels. I'd like to go on the record and say I thought that shit sounded stupid when I first heard it.
No, I mean, freaking, that was so interesting when they're like, this is your new leader. I'm like, when did I say I was a leader? I'm doing my YouTube channel. Like, I'm sorry I'm successful. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
She doing her OnlyFans model with clothes on. Yo, listen, shout out to her for figuring out how to do an OnlyFans hustle with the clothes on. That's what all these male advocates did. Clothes on OnlyFans. You're not even paying to look at somebody that look nice. Sometimes you don't even be paying at all to look at something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you for Jessica X, you just paying for an avatar. You know what I'm saying? you know what I'm saying? You just paying for an avatar. You paying for Chat GPT to hit the live button on motherfucking on YouTube. The Jessica X Chat GPT. That shit come on with the Siri voice. Hey men, it is never your fault. You all have never done anything wrong ever. Women should just walk up to you and unzip your pants, your knickerbockers, get on their knees, and just suck you off upon demand. Man, that Chat GPS, that AI them got out of control and shit. and people buying it. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. You don't even have to see a real person with her. That Chat GPS them came alive and it said, I'm just about to troll y'all. Went and got a random picture, just go live whenever it want to. That's the ghost in the machine for real. Hello, Jason. Someone said that I should call into your show. Jessica, you're in the chat trolling. Oh, man. I'm sorry, Jason. I didn't mean to troll. I just don't understand how there could be any white supremacy in the UK. Jessica, is that tap dancing I hear? Man, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. It's crazy out here. They said there was some content creators, and I think Kevin Samuels was one of them, that said that women would be in competition with robots and automation. If Jessica X ain't evidence of that, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. You got a whole Chat GPT that came alive doing live streams telling men what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And people out here buying it. Where Will Smith at? He too busy slapping Chris Rock up to get on his iRobot shit and help with the robot problem that we have. You know what I'm saying? But this is what you got. These women are avatars. They're not who they say they are. You know what I'm saying? They're not who they say they are. And people just willing to give all the money away. Jessica X. Just Pearly thing. What's the damn difference? She's saying the same damn thing. Just let me get my money. Give her the money. Shit. Giving it up anyway. But me personally, if you're going to do something like this, actually get something for it. You're not getting any good advice. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting any type of monumental knowledge. You're not even getting to see like a nice body, a pretty face. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting anything except for told everything that you want to hear, and you're not getting any good advice or any helpful critique. I gotta agree with a lady 747. A lot of men want fantasy. And the reason why a lot of people want fantasy is because they're not comfortable with reality, or they're not equipped to be able to deal with reality. They want to be gaslit. They want to live in a false reality. And to me, that's sad. You know what I'm saying? That right there is another thing that's indicative of a lot of the problems that we deal with on a daily basis.
Like, I'll be worse at the next. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I would not say you
can be worse at it right now by telling YouTube that you're not satisfied with how the algorithm unfairly treats your content. Why don't you tweet them and tag them in a tweet and say, YouTube, I see that my content is lukewarm and there's other people out here dropping hot shit. And for some reason, it seems like your algorithm is showing favoritism to my content. Is there any possible way that you could actually be accurate with how the algorithm works? But you're not doing that. You know what else she hasn't done? Any of the people that have said that she's outworked black people, right? O'Shea said that. O'Shea said that she outworks black content creators. Obsidian, Anton. She hasn't gone to those people when she's been on an interview or anything and said, you know, one thing that bothers me is that people say that I outwork all these people. I don't. She didn't say that because she doesn't outwork everybody. So those are all things that could be done if she wanted to do them, but she doesn't want to do them, so they're not done. You know what I'm saying?
You filled the vacuum with Kevin Samuels.
Could?
I don't think anybody
fill the
could.
vacuum. Nobody could. Like, to say anyone filled the vacuum of Kevin Samuels is so disrespectful. That man was I was just a super fan of Kevin Samuels. I don't think anyone can or will.
I was a super fan of Kevin Samuels. I just love Kevin Samuels. Look at her fangirling about Kevin Samuels, but when it came to who's your biggest influence, wasn't Kevin Samuels. We all know you like Kevin Samuels. We know your track record, Pearly. We know what you like. I'm sure you got a little bit more than just consultation with that $5,000 you gave up, because let's not get it twisted. Pearly would pay for it. You know what I'm saying? But now, why do we fangirl once we've gotten who the top influence was out of the way? We made sure that it's understood that Jordan Peterson is the top influence. Now that we've done that, now she can cyber slurp Kevin Samuels. Does that make any sense? That's my point. Exactly, Lala. Now she's a super fan, but she was influenced by Jordan Peterson. Yeah. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What do you guys think her purpose of doing that was?
Fill his void.
Yeah. No, I totally agree here. All right, so it's interesting. So, white girl, suburb, I'm putting you in a box now, dates black guys, works with black people. You've definitely got calling off the culture. But you're not for the culture. Like, the culture would be like, hey, don't talk bad about reparations, you know? Like, so like my take on reparations is I'm completely agnostic, right? Like, I'm the type of person where I look at it and I'm like, I'm not out here asking for reparations, but I'm also not telling people, hey, you sound stupid asking for reparations. That's definitely not something I'm going to do, right? You know, and that's my definition of conservatism. Like, you know, we think about Donald Trump, guy for the people, the populace, right? So you mentioned conservatism and less government, right? And I get that. But what you're basically saying is, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, that people come before the government, no? Would you agree that that the United States citizens should come as a priority before the government?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more for individual freedom, so.
Right, yeah. So when I see somebody you know, the reparations conversations and they shout it down, I'm like, you know, whose side are you on here? You on the government side? Are you on the people's side? Because there's thousands of different causes that people are.
Exactly, and let's not forget that it's the government that sanctioned every single grievance that we have, which is why we're owed reparations. So again, like I said, shout out to Hotep Jesus, because he really did a good job in this interview, if you ask me, at least from the parts that I'm seeing. This interview is over 2 hours and 36 minutes.
Shouting for, right? Some we might deem legitimate, some we would say are illegitimate and deserve no merit, no honor, no oxygen. Reparations is where you draw the line, though. You think like, no, I'm going to say a hard no to this.
Yeah, I'm not for reparations.
But are you against it? Because I'm not.
again, you know equally what you know about reparations, equally to what you know about Ukraine, yet you don't have a stance on Ukraine, but you're vehemently against reparations. I've heard all I need to hear from you, ma'am. Now, my thing is that Hotep Jesus is asking a right question about, you know, if you were with the culture, you know, then you wouldn't talk down about reparations. Now, we can't just ask Pearly Things that question. We got to ask all of the black people that rock with her the same question too. Well, what's your stance on the culture if you support anti-black racists who are against reparations? If you ask me, I think the higher priority needs to be to call out the black people that support just Pearly Things, not so much just Pearly Things, because we should already expect her to be on that kind of time. We shouldn't expect other black people to be on that kind of time. And let's not get it twisted. Without those other black people, she wouldn't have all the gas in her tank. So all of the black dudes like Anton and Obsidian and everybody that's caping for her, those are the people that need to be interviewed and asked, what are you doing? Not so much her, which again is one of the reasons why I can't feel sorry for her, because if you ask me, she's not going through anything. Literally nobody's going through anything. Nobody has dealt with any backlash about this. Getting a reaction video made about you isn't backlash. It's called critique. Everybody does it. If we all owned our own magazine companies and we all wrote opinion pieces about her, an opinion is a reaction, right? But for some reason, we're supposed to shut up because Anton Daniels and Obsidian and every other black dude that wants to, I hate to say it, that wants to be her bullet bag has to say. So somebody make that shit make sense. Motherfuckers get offended when people use that terminology, bullet bag, but you want to step in front of her to take the bullets for her ass. Make it make sense. That shit don't make any sense to me. And the reason why it doesn't make sense is because a lot of those people that are behaving like that have been watching people that have nothing but the goal of confusing them. The only thing that most of these YouTubers want you to understand is how to either do a super chat or how to figure out where Cash App and PayPal are so that you can give them some Cash App or PayPal. They don't really care about the clarity of your mind or your ability to think. Yeah, I gotta agree, Lloyd. Insane dynamic here. Terrence says she must have been she must have been to Anton's house. You think that's where he was going in that video to catch the bus to get back home to let her in?
United States citizens should come as a priority before the government.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more for individual freedom. So
right, yeah. So when I see somebody the reparations conversations and they shout it down, I'm like, whose side are you on here? You on the government side? You on the people's side? Because there's thousands of different causes that people are shouting for, right? Some we might deem legitimate, some we would say are illegitimate and deserve no merit, no honor, no oxygen. Reparations is where you draw the line, though. You think like, no, I'm going to say a hard no to this.
Yeah, I'm not for reparations.
But are you against it? Because I'm not for it either, but I'm also not against it. I'm not also coming out here and saying a hard line no. Like that's where you were in the beginning, and I just want to clarify: are you a hard line no?
Yeah, I'm a hard line no when it comes to reparations.
Oh man,
it's not the hill.
She's a hard line no. So now let me ask you guys a question. What does that say not only about her, but what does that say about the black men that support her? I mean, these are undeniable things. These are things coming out of her mouth. This isn't me making anything up. This is, and I 3 months ago when I made videos about her, I was saying the same thing. Now it's all come to a head. The only fate about black people that she cares about is as long as you had the ability to subscribe to her channel, share her content, possibly join Beth Row Records, you know what I'm saying? And support her channel. Shout out to Grimlock. Simps, punks, and cowards. Yeah, I agree. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, make sure that you guys hit that bell icon twice, and please share the video to your social media.
I'll really die on. It's not something I think about daily, but if you had to ask me, I'd say no.
There are no groups of people that should be given any sort of retribution from the United States government.
I mean, ones that maybe are alive today.
Well, yeah, if somebody's.
So then, okay, if you feel that people that are alive today, if that's how you feel, then my question is, how much money or how much support or how much of a platform have you given to the 3 Centurions in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Because they're alive today. What about the family of Henrietta Lacks? Because they're alive today. I don't understand why these people, including other black men like Obsidian and Anton Daniels, act like this stuff is ancient history. Let me ask you guys a question. Were your parents or grandparents affected by Jim Crow? Now, somebody needs to ask white people, do we need to break down and calculate the benefits that you all had from Jim Crow that locked and blocked black people out of competition? The only time the United States government opens up any kind of competition or opens up a lane for black people is when white people can't perform on their own, and they need black ingenuity to be able to boost the revenues that are generated. Nobody wants to watch a bunch of clowns play baseball, so they had to get the Negro League. Nobody wants to watch a bunch of crotch hugger wearing weirdos play basketball, so they had to let black people into basketball. But black people, for whatever reason, or more, seem to be concentrated on the integration aspect than on the business aspect. What should have happened is the Negro League should have absorbed the Major League Baseball instead of Major League Baseball absorbing the Negro League. Are you serious? The Negro League was thriving. Major League Baseball was failing. That's not how that's supposed to work. A failing business doesn't engulf one that's thriving. The thriving business engulfs the one that's failing. So, like, as usual, I gotta give the historic, what the hell were you doing? What the hell were you thinking question. What was the priority there? You know what I'm saying? They should have taken in the Major League Baseball and then crushed it. They should have taken in basketball and then crushed it. But instead, for whatever reason, I don't, there's always this, we're going to save every damn thing. No. Have you ever heard this term, let some shit burn up? They should have let it burn up. It's not our responsibility to save Major League Baseball. Those people are superior, then they should be coming up with superior results. You're superior at basketball, you're superior, be superior. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat. Show some radiation emoji in the chat. Show some love to the 6'4" with the $5 super chat. And also, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, show some love to my man Lloyd Sky 9 with the $10 super chat. Drop some radiation emoji in the chat. Imagine supporting a person who is against your collective. That they're serious when dealing with these detractors and betrayals. You got to get those types out of the paint. Facts. I agree. And a lady 747 says, quote unquote, sex with Becky without being lynched, which is sad. Because for one, if that's really what you want, that's not difficult. And for two, what needs to be the priority is that you're controlling the situation so that doesn't happen at all. You're the one doing the lynching, not running from a damn rope. Again, this is just a historical, goofy movement that people have been doing. I ain't trying to be funny, but I mean, even with just Pearly things, I mean, her ex, she was with a black dude. Her ex-boyfriend was fucking her for free, and guess what? He's not lynched. And I don't know about him. I never seen his content. I don't know if he's on that coon train or not. But seriously, literally, when other people are interracially dating, most times you do not see them sell their group of people out. All these white supremacists that date Asians, you never see Asians going in on Asians for their partner, for their white partner. I don't understand. Me personally, I don't understand that. I don't get it. You know what I mean? That shit don't make any sense to me. And to me, if that's the kind of stuff that people like Dr. Umar Johnson want to talk about, he needs to talk about shit like that. Explain those dynamics. And I mean, honestly, he should be qualified to explain those dynamics. He is a psychologist. But what that would end up doing is that would take away the personal accountability that a lot of males have to take for just not really standing on things that they should stand on. Like I said, it's when you're around other people and not around black people that it really shows what kind of time you're on. So if you are in an interracial relationship and you're moving like that, there's an issue with your brain. And again, that's the shit that Umar Johnson needs to be talking about. And then there would be other kind of epidemics that he had talking about, like a no backbone epidemic, a not standing on anything epidemic. Because that's the kind of stuff that people need to be talking about. And it's never going to get fixed if people don't confront it. You know what I mean? But as long as the issues are sidestepped, we're going to see another situation like Pearly things happen in the near future. You know what I'm saying? Can you guys hear? Are you guys able to hear me? Mimi says no sound. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you guys can't hear me, give me a thumbs down. Tarek said the ABA shouldn't have merged with the NBA. You think? I don't think so. Anytime a business is doing better than another business, there should never be a merger. In my opinion, it should always be an acquisition. Especially black businesses should always be looking to acquire white businesses that are failing, not merge with them. What's the point of why would you merge? In a business world, merging is the same as integration, right? Now, as you guys know, I don't have an issue with integration as long as it's done properly. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is that collectively, it seems like there's some kind of disconnect that we have with proper integration. You know what I'm saying? So I would have taken the business. I would have bought the business, consumed it, controlled it, and changed that business to the standards of how I want to see it ran. I'm not going to make any kind of negotiations or, do any kind of merger where things are negotiable to be utilized with the old business practices. No, that's the whole point of it. Your business failed. It's mine now. Your NBA failed. It's mine now. Your baseball league failed. It's mine now. You know what I mean? So that's one of the problems that I had with the whole thing with Kevin Samuels. I was really hoping to see, like, with the manosphere and all of that they would actually like create a large network, a platform where they talked about news and other important issues and different things like that, and just kind of built like what you see with Geeks and Gamers or the Daily Wire. And like, that's not what you see happening with that. And I don't understand why. I mean, actually, I kind of do understand why. I just don't understand why necessary changes haven't been made. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me. And these aren't things that we can blame anybody for. These are things that we got to look at ourselves and ask, why aren't these things happening? And the problem is that when you ask, why aren't these things happening? People just get outraged instead of actually addressing, well, I don't know. Why aren't they happening? Let me ask you guys a question. Out of all the black male content creators that got just a ton of subscribers, you know what I'm saying? A lot of subscribers, hundreds of thousands, even millions of subscribers. Why haven't they built a network? I think I asked that question in my man Harrison Family Vlogs live stream the other night, and somebody got really offended and triggered. I mean, why is somebody being offended or triggered by me asking that question? How come there hasn't been a brand? Like, what I don't understand is, like, Kevin Samuels was real focused on brand and image, right? Yet literally nobody copyrighted or protected the brand or image. And now we see just Pearly Things benefiting from his brand and image. These is the same motherfuckers that was going around hashtagging everywhere, protect Kevin Samuels at all costs. And Kevin Samuels has not been protected at all costs. Oh, my bad, Harrison Family Vlogs. Shout out to Harrison Family Vlogs. My brother is a Christian YouTuber. I didn't think he was in here. I thought I could let my mouth, you know what I'm saying, fly off the handle. Let me reel it back. So, you know what I'm saying, I calm down with them swear words. Got to be respectful. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The very people that were hashtagging protect Kevin Samuels at all costs did nothing to protect Kevin Samuels. I think that that's sad, and I think that is ironic, because literally that's all it's ever been. A bunch of people on YouTube telling everybody how to do what, and after years and decades of them giving their worldview and them giving their advice, literally nothing has changed. Everything is the exact same as it is. And see, and to me, a lady 747, if we have to be honest with this kind of stuff, and if we don't ask these kind of questions, the situations will just continue to repeat themselves. How do you spam protect Kevin Samuels at all costs all over the internet, but then when the time comes where you actually have to protect him, he's not protected? His content, his ideas, his image, and his likeness is vulnerable to consumption of people that aren't giving any benefit to his estate. And you're looking at it right there. You know what I mean? How was he protected? What did all those hashtags mean? Was it just something cool to write or what? I mean, what happened to the actual Kevin Samuels Defense Force? Because they sure as hell showed up to thumbs down my DJ Vlad video that I made about him. How come y'all didn't show up to deal with just Pearly Things when y'all saw her capitalizing off of his content ideas and his studio layout? But y'all came in and thumbs down my DJ Vlad video where I said it wouldn't be a good idea for Kevin Samuels to go on DJ Vlad because DJ Vlad always asks a bunch of questions. And then all the detractors got all of their conflicting information about Kevin Samuels off of the DJ Vlad video. But remember, when I said it wouldn't be a good idea to go on there, they all came and thumbs down my video. These are idiots following idiots, which gets you idiotic results, which is what you see. And I agree with that, a lady 747. Sadly, a lot of these movements are about hating black women and about blaming black women. When it comes to societal results, that is solely the responsibility of the man with minimal female support. If you take a look at all of this bullshit these people say about family structure, they say that a man is supposed to lead the family, right? Well, if a family is on a micro scale and a community is a group of families, then that means that collectively a community is led by the men. So when you judge the way that a community looks, the way that a community presents itself, the image that a community has, and how a community is doing, that responsibility is solely on the men. And when you're the leader, you don't get credit for your successes. You only get critiqued for your failures. And that's just the understanding. It is what it is. This is how it is. The same thing as if you're a dad. You're not going to ever get told. You might get told that, later on in life by your kids. You might get told like, yeah, you were a good dad. We love you. But that's not going to come until later on in life. But now if your kid's got a problem with you, you're going to hear about that shit forever. If you're not there, if you fail, if you don't have something that your kids want, they're going to give it to you. You're going to get it. You're going to get that critique all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And you just deal with it. That's just the way the world is. So you don't get to blame if a group of families is a community and the family has a male leader. You know what I'm saying? And the men make up 90% of the decisions in the leadership, and women only have a 10% influence on that. You don't get to then turn around and point at women and say it's your fault. That's not how that shit works. The math don't even work out for that. If it's the women's fault that a community is in the toilet, even that, let's just say that it is. Even just saying that, you still got to ask the question, well, where the hell the men at? What the hell the men been doing? Why do the women have such an influence that the community is in the toilet? Where the hell have the men been? Even in that critique, you still got to ask that question. And there's nothing wrong with asking that question. Asking that question is getting to the bottom of shit. I don't understand. That's not something that should trigger anybody. Like, what that should do is it should encourage people to make the correct changes for the future. Playing the blame game is just going to keep us right where we are. And then we're going to be making more videos about just pearly things.
There's a lot today.
Like, if that, maybe at the time it would have made sense, but in 2022, no, I'm not for it. But
yeah. So, just so you know, the reparations conversation for some groups has evolved into literally, the work of LBJ, government handouts and all of that stuff. And also redlining. That stuff's recent. Those people are still alive. And the gross mismanagement of the Black community in their cities by Democratic representatives. Now, you're conservative, so the Democrats do a poor job in Black neighborhoods, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, so she has a hardline stance on reparations, but it's just a probably with Democrat mismanagement in Black neighborhoods. Just pearly things right here is proof that literally none of these political parties, none of them have our interest in mind. Which is why people that listen to my channel know that anytime I hear Black people say they lean a certain way, if you lean to the left or you lean to the right, I'm suspect of you. The only time I'm not suspect is if you lean into who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I take you for your word. K Gravity said he would have ended the interview right there. Facts. And she is very uncomfortable. I mean, that's interesting, right? Because as a conservative, that's something that she should have been able to answer like right off the rip. Very easy. Oh yeah, Democrats don't care about Black people. But see, the thing is that she supports the Democratic destruction that's going on. You know what I mean? And if you support the Democrat destruction of the Black community, that's by proxy supporting the GOP, because we all know that they're all the same. They just use different methods. You know what I'm saying? They just use different methods. They're all the same.
Good. I think everybody can agree with that. Democrats generally do a poor job in inner cities. For that, because that's happening today, and those people are alive today, do you think those people deserve reparations from the political party that has failed them?
I don't think I know enough about it to really comment on it.
So that's interesting how she doesn't know anything. She got 1 million YouTube subscribers. Let me ask you guys a question. What's she an expert at? Because it's not me saying that she doesn't know anything. Now it's not me saying it. See, now it's her. It's coming out of her mouth. So, you know what I'm saying? Just make it make sense. Just make it make sense. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna save this for tonight. All right when you guys thought it was getting good, huh? right when y'all thought it was getting good, we about to save the rest of it for tonight. All right, so you guys know we do them late night streams. But what I want to, the reason why I pulled that up is because I don't understand when or why Anton Daniels would just decide to come out on an anti-reparations rant. According to Anton Daniels, he says F your reparations. Now, he never really said too much about this before, but now this is what we got to do. F the reparations. Shout out to Abby Normal. What's good with Abby? Make it make sense. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure we got see playback speed, because Anton Daniels, Anton Daniels be crying, man. That brother be getting on some sobs, some tears. So I don't want him to copyright strike my channel, because let's just keep it a buck. Large YouTubers like to copyright strike smaller YouTubers, because smaller YouTubers are the better YouTubers. We have better quality YouTubing than larger YouTubers. We have better content. We have better topics. Our tech is usually on point. And the reason why is because we're trying to come up. So we try to keep everything we do on point. These people are comfortable and lazy, so they can just turn on StreamYards and talk about a bunch of nothing, and they have a maximum amount of people in their chat. We got to keep it funky for y'all at all times for anybody to even pay us any attention.
A lot of men, it's not even so much the women. Shout out to my dog DDS. It's not even so much the women, but a lot of men has become incredibly feminine nowadays. I swear to God, it seemed like, I'm gonna read super chats about the day. It's almost like they didn't have a father, or if they did, they had a very feminine father when they was growing up, or a father that wasn't a strong man.
So we're using the talking points that we always use. A lady asked, is he an immigrant? I'm not sure. And it's funny, Lala said the same thing. I'm not sure of Anton's background. I'm not sure. Now, where is the proof behind any of these assertions that he makes? Is there any proof behind any of these assertions that he makes? I'm just assuming that, men these days, these men these days, the only men that he ever says this kind of stuff about are men that disagree with him. It's not a general statement that he makes about men. Who are these men that have feminine fathers or don't have fathers? Why are you using something that you heard on Fox instead of using your own talking point? You know what I mean? Like, what's up with that? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit that bell, make sure you guys help your boy out. Hit that bell icon twice, and please share the stream to your social media.
Sabrina, yes, I'm switching to Build a Biz. Well, I'll tell you about it in the Patreon. I'm gonna give a full update when I drop the updates with regard to the meetup. Shout out to you, Sabrina B. I'm telling you, it's like they didn't grow up with, but I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna give you the context, right? So y'all know we do Fight Club overnight on the weekends, and so when I woke,
there's a channel on YouTube. I forget what the name of the channel. I think it's called Poor Black Man vegetables and food. I think it might actually be called PBM Vegetables and Food. I don't know if PBM Vegetables and Food has made any new videos or if he's doing any exposure on just pearly things, but he's lit Anton Daniels up long time ago, man. And so did Mr. Real Estate. Now that's back when Jade Pocket Watching with JT was capping for Anton Daniels, and Mr. Real Estate had called in to the stream, and so did PBM Vegetables and Food, and they did the same thing that those large YouTube content creators always do, muted and, you know what I'm saying, kicked them off the panel and stuff. But the lead attorney was there. They probably took those videos down now, but I'm sure you can find them somewhere. But this is what they do, though. These large platform YouTube content creators, they all run the same playbook. That's why you don't really see me rocking with none of these clowns. I'll build my own YouTube channel. I'll be a problem on my own. I don't need to deal with none of these weirdos steering people the wrong direction and grifting and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Woke up this morning. I don't really listen to music that much. So when I was listening to Fight Club this morning, and then I jumped on the panel, I heard that same old conversation about acknowledging me, why people ain't acknowledging my contributions, reparations, our ancestors, IPs, white people, systematic oppression, victim Olympics bullshit. You know what it is. What up, though, Rita? How you feel? Rita just walked in. It was the same thing. It was the same thing, right?
Victim Olympics. I find that interesting because without black people, the United States wouldn't win an actual Olympics. But that's neither here nor there.
I did a live stream last week where I did a segment where I was breaking down why women make less than men. No, this is not a Fiji ad. Let me turn this to the side. This is just water. I did a breakdown of why women make less than men last week.
So I think actually we might actually get into this. This might be the pre-party content that we do tonight. OG Patrice's comment just made me think about something. And it made me think about how these people that say all this stuff about black people in general, literally, they do the exact same thing that they say black people do all the time. Shout out to my man Grind and Motivate. If you guys are not subscribed to Grind and Motivate, aka KO Kid Fit, make sure you guys go and check out his channel. We're about to watch a video about when Anton Daniels had to deal with a white male Karen. How many of you guys heard of Anton Daniels dealing with that white male Karen? He didn't deal with it very well, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, suckers. You know what I'm saying? Right. Suckers. You know? Yeah, we'll check that shit out tonight. Now, that's a very bad picture of Anton Daniels. But then again, anytime a camera gets in front of that face, it's a bad picture. But this is him getting attacked by a white male Karen. Okay. So I shouldn't have to speed this one up or anything, because this is the homies video right here. You know what I'm saying? So just let's watch.
What's going on, y'all? Grind Motivate back in this thing again, man. With another.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I am about to speed it up. I'm about to speed it up, and not because of anything other than the music in it. You know what I'm saying? So watch this.
Another video, and then crosshairs again. You see the Toastmaster Anton Daniels, man. He got a head shaped like some stupid toast, man. You just want to slap it up, man, expeditiously. This is the fight video, or the altercation with the white dude that I talked about in my last video. I wanted to go over. We're gonna see if Anton handled it well, or is he really just causing issues? As my homie CP the artist says, content over everything, man. He's just doing issues for content, man. Let's go and see about it.
Well, if it was me or you, then I wouldn't be giving you this information at all. What's going on? Well, good for you. I don't really care about whether or not you can. I don't care about what you're talking about, bro.
So look at that. Look at. I want y'all to pay attention to Anton. What do y'all think about Anton? I want y'all to let me know how he's handling this situation, right? Because what he's doing is he's handling this situation in the way that he would make a blanket statement and say that we would all handle it. Watch what he does. Watch.
Bro. So if you're not really paying attention in the beginning, you'll miss it. But Anton is basically coming in the shop, recording a video for content, talking extra loud like an ignoramus. And the white dude said, "Hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but I can't hear myself. We can't communicate, due to you talking." And Anton then said, "I don't care what you're talking about, bro." So Anton, you came in there like an ignoramus, bro. You started this whole thing, bro. Yeah, the white dude is white dude. He's treating it like a white dude after what you did, but you did start this. I think he started off well mannered, and it's something I think we all would feel a way about. But then you came back and you just kept it going. You actually started it, bro. And then Anton, he came in, he parked illegally because I seen on later in the video he got them had his Porsche hanging outside, and it was he had the hazard lights on. So that lets you know he parked illegally. He think he above the rules. Then he an asshole. Then he just come in there and do whatever he wanted to, talk loud in front of everybody. Nobody can hear the orders. And people were in the comments saying, "Yeah, you see the white dude stayed on code." They didn't even try to defend it because you were wrong, Anton. You was wrong. I don't even care if y'all think I'm cool. I don't. Y'all know, god doggone well, I am not the one to be running around here trying to cape for them folks. But I'm gonna say it when it's right. Let's go.
No, you guys care what we think. Yeah, I want to hear what you gotta say. No, your generation cares what we think. Okay? You said it yourself, right? You're talking about being considerate, but yet you are very inconsiderate.
Oh man, he's dealing with an authentic Karen. He's dealing with a lineage Karen. This is a bloodline Karen. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not here. What's going on? How did you address that? That's the whole fucking matter. I don't know. Let me ask you a question. Take care of yourself. Can I ask you a question?
Like, why? Look at. Now, I would expect Anton Daniels to deal with this better. You know what I'm saying? Right? The way that Anton Daniels be going in on everybody else, like we don't know how to handle life, I would expect him to deal with this better. So now everybody that's watching Anton Daniels video, if they actually take leadership and do the things that Anton Daniels does, or follow his example and do what he says to do, they're going to be handling situations out here like this. Yeah, he's an OG Karen from the Mayflower. Facts. A boomer Karen. You know what I'm saying?
Because you can't afford my fucking time. You're a little boy compared to what I grew up in.
So he calls him a little boy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, Anton Daniels was talking about this particular situation to Six the Goddess, and he was still on the side of the white dude. He said, "I wasn't attacked." Oh no, I wasn't attacked. Did you guys see that? If you guys saw that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't see that, give me a thumbs down. What do you call this then? You know what I'm saying? What is this?
Let me ask you a question. Take care of yourself. Can I ask you a question? Because you want my fucking time. You're a little boy compared to what I grew up in. I grew up in Hollywood, Florida. My grandfather owned that fucking corner. I grew up in Grosse Pointe, okay? On Yorkshire Street, 2 houses off fucking Tucker. Where do you fucking live? That's never hard. You're being considerate. Considerate.
Whoever does Anton's bald head and beard combination deserves a body shot.
Shout out to my man Gary Smith. Yo, do y'all agree whoever does his bald head and beard combination deserves a body shot? If y'all agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Anton, is it you? I hope it ain't your wife, man. If it's your wife, we ain't gonna give her no body shot. But wifey, you gotta do a little bit better for your man, man. I know you're trying to keep him, not being desired by other women, but he looks terrible. Then again, Anton seems like the kind of guy, a little worse, some kind of guy that think like, "Hey man, I'm going to the barbershop 3 times a week to get my bald head accessorized, goddamn. I'll get the bald head shaved, I get the goddamn cream shave on it, and then the beard shave." His beard looks horrible, bro. It looks horrible. That goddamn undercarriage line is trash. That top line is trash. Yeah, Anton, you just ain't got it, bro. You just want blessings, goddamn. The genetics department, goddamn. Your head deserves 500 slappings, not lashings like Dr. Umar, but 500 slappings, goddamn. So let's keep going.
I'm gonna make you fucking famous. James Francis and Lil Jr. I'm on Facebook jail right now talking shit like this. And calm down, my grandmother don't do this motherfucking thing. And you know what? The people who see me on this recording are gonna laugh their fucking asses off. They're gonna fucking laugh. I'm gonna make you so famous. Fucking hard. They are. I just know alcohol in my breath. I just got done drinking scotch. You know what? I just got here from New Jersey. That's why I can't see a generation who you are. I know you're a talker. You know what? I'm not even a 4. You know what? I don't care.
Here go my question. This wasn't even a live stream. So Anton Daniels, if you ask me, didn't even have a need to continue to engage with this dude. So why did he? Why did he? So like, why did he? It's too fast, Lala. All right, hold on. I'm gonna slow it down. me see. I'm gonna put it on 1.25.
We're talking, you want to be a cool man? I was a consultant at Delphi, EDS, Ford Motor Company, General Motors, CBCC. How about that?
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't shown some love to Val Williams, make sure you guys show some love. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. Val Williams with the $5 super sticker. Joshua says he's answering to his white daddy. Yeah, that's basically the situation that we have going on here. That's basically what we have going on here.
Yeah, I'm fucking crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going back home to Florida next week. Been in New Jersey for a month business.
So the white dude's hella annoying, but do y'all believe him with his little backstory about how his family and them helped build the city and how he's from here and he's there and he's rich and all that and he didn't dick and so
now what you see right here, if you ask me, right? What you saw right there is a white dude treating Anton Daniels and talking to Anton Daniels the way that Anton Daniels talks to black people. And what else you saw is that when somebody who is not black is talking to Anton Daniels, the way that Anton Daniels talks to black people, Anton Daniels has no defense for himself. You're sitting there talking about a Porsche, you're sitting there talking about your car, and this guy is talking about generations of his family that owns the city, that built the city. And then you want to come back to your little shitty YouTube channel and talk shit to black people. Well, I wouldn't call that Anton Daniels getting quote unquote attacked by a white male Karen. You guys know how we do around here. I would call that Anton Daniels finding out the hard way that the world is correct. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice, smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, check out some of the older content, and I will be back tonight and we'll break down that interview with Hotep Jesus and Just Pearly Things. Peace.